Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the next installment of the Lunch Crew, or AKA Tales from the Loop. If you didn't catch us last time, that's totally okay because all of us probably forgot half of it anyway since it's been about 3 months. But for the most part, I'll give a brief little refresher of all of that in a minute. But first, I want to make sure that everyone gets to have a moment to introduce themselves, talk about some stuff that they're excited about, um, introduce who they're playing tonight, and I think I'm going to add another thing to the list too. Um, so where we left off last session, all of you had a chance to look up at a fractured sky that showed you into different dimensions where you could see different versions of yourself or different versions of reality. And I want you to say one thing that you think um you learned from it, or maybe like your character changed a little bit, maybe they became more confident with something or more insecure about something, just something like small that you think your character going into this next session might have that's a little bit of a different mindset. So we are going to go starting first with Taylor, all the way to my right.
Oh no. Okay. I gotta keep thinking about that. But hi, I'm Taylor at underscore potato underscore. I'm playing Crystal. Just a sweet little 10-year-old bean, the weirdo. I think I'm the youngest of the crew, I'm pretty sure. Ooh, what is something that would have changed? Maybe we were talking about Nicodemus earlier. Maybe because I feel like I remember there was like a nice, cute little bonding moment at the end of her and Buck, kind of like her looking up the older brother vibes. Maybe she's with Nicodemus and seeing some things that maybe her brother's kind of doing is much more on the like trying to patch some familial relationships vibe. I think she's being a little more open to that people.
Hey,
Not so much of a loner.
okay, very cool. So I guess we'll go in clockwise order, so that'll bring Dido next.
Hi, I'm Dido. Tonight I am playing Isabella, the bookworm. And something she learned after the interactions with her extra dimensional self is that definitely there are aliens. She was skeptical, but believed, but there are definitely aliens. Um, she saw that her other self was more confident to open up to people of how she feels. So she started doing that. And she realized with all of the tech and stuff that they found, she's become even more interested in what her dad is doing at the loop and helping him more with his inventions in the basement without being asked.
Hey. All right, so the next will be Turk.
Hey everybody, I am Turk or Turk Accented in the Danger Zone. I am playing Buck Tomlin. I am the jock of the group, one of the older people. And since seeing an alternative reality in which he had a full functioning family, he's not very smart. He's not really smart at all. But he's been contemplating some things, and maybe his experiences have pushed him to want to try to do something. But in the moment, I think it's just doubled down on his desire to look out for his family. Make sure his kid sisters always walk to school, and make sure his dad always has a meal outside his door.
Nice. And then finally, the mystery person behind the wig of hair. Jason, go
No,
ahead and tell us
Let
about
me, let me
yourself.
part the Red Seas here. Just
I actually grew all this out just for the show.
Dedication. Just the most dedicated of all of us.
I mean, it
Like
was three
all of us.
months, so
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm playing Jolene Blake, known colloquially as Joe. She's a rocker. In the fractured sky, she saw a version of the world where her father didn't disappear at a young age, and it has made her even less tolerant of her creepy stepfather Earl. And now she spends most of her time just in the clubhouse, which is an old bomber plane in an aerial graveyard.
That's right. Oh gosh, I don't know. I'm gonna have to see if I can fit in to be able to have you guys go there again today, because some of the stuff I have planned hopefully it doesn't just, well, anyway, that's getting ahead of things, but very cool. I'm glad all of you had some time to, grow your characters a little bit. Also, just for everyone in the audience, I did give everyone the option to age up their player. I don't know if anyone did, but they had the option to basically take away one of their luck points and gain a skill point instead, just to kind of allow for some character growth if they wanted. And before I forget, also, usually on Lost Caravan, we do talk about our two sponsors. So I am doing things out of order. I already don't know what I'm doing. That's okay. But we do have two sponsors that are always really great to us, that we always get to get a bunch of cool things from, having really cool artwork through Hero Forge if we want to build our characters and make little minis that look exactly like how we want our characters to be for a game, and Epidemic Sound, which you probably are hearing music right now. I don't have the stream up on my, or I don't have the music playing through my headphones right now, so I don't know what y'all are hearing, but you're probably hearing some cool stuff from Epidemic Sound. But yeah, so I guess maybe we should wait until Taylor comes back, because I just realized she disappeared. Oh,
The
hello.
mischief's already started.
Oh
You're good.
no.
Sorry, I heard
Okay.
lots of like animal noises, so I went to shut my door before it came over in audio.
Okay.
I blame Hoop.
Ah. All right. Well, then I guess without further ado, I will give us a little refresher of what happened last time, because I did carry some things over from last session into this session. Basically, last session, we left off with me having given my character way too many cool things to look at that they didn't even figure out what the big mystery was until after break. So they were able to experiment with what ended up being a time stopper at a roller rink, where they were able to stop everybody and move them a little bit and make some people collide with each other or pick someone up who's already fallen. I was able to get them to know that they had on Sunday mornings, very early in the morning, they were able to see a fractured sky. And if they look through a telescope, each little sliver of the sky was a different dimension. So you could see very briefly into another dimension for just a few minutes in the morning, and they had a nice little end sequence with that. We also had in the roller rink as well, they were able to find some grease for roller skate wheels that basically not only made the wheels go so fast that some people couldn't even handle it, but it also helped them be able to kind of defy gravity a bit. Not have to stick just on the floor. Maybe they can go up walls or something like that if they get enough speed. No one was brave enough to try it, but who knows? And what was the fourth thing? Oh, the music, that helped them be able to see a different dimension. And Isabel and Crystal had a moment when they were in their home base fighter plane, but in a totally different dimension when things changed just a little bit. So for this week, usually in between sessions, items from last session will go away, but I am allowing them to still have their greased roller skate wheels and the time stopper. So let's see what they can do with that today. For today's session, we are going to start in another fond place that all middle schoolers and high schoolers will remember. You might not have actually thought fondly of it. I might be being sarcastic with the fond, but today we are opening up in a pep rally. So you're all in the gymnasium. um
These are the
you're
worst.
all in a gymnasium, and your principal Bolton, made the pep rally mandatory because, you know, what's better than what's more fun than mandatory fun? So, sadly, that does mean you don't have the option of trying to ditch without getting in trouble or anything like that. So, um, I'll give you a little bit of information about what that looks like, and then I want everyone to go around and kind of say what they think they'd be doing in a forced pep rally. So your school, their mascot is the woolly mammoths. And they don't have any like silly little cartoony woolly mammoths. They have like a anatomically correct woolly mammoth just plastered on the side of your gymnasium. Like they're trying to think that they have physically seen one in person and they want to show off. You know, that sort of vibe. So that kind of doesn't leave too much room for colors. So your pep rally's a mixture of brown and ivory. So, you know, not really as
Brown and
brightly
light brown.
colored as you're used to, but, you know, again, adults in this world are kinda
Bland
lame, kinda
and
not
big.
helpful. Yeah. So everyone's wearing brown and ivory because they're trying to be very anatomically correct about your fantastic mascot of the woolly mammoth. But fun things are happening. Um, we are about to enter into the last event of the day, and everyone will be able to go home afterwards. And the last event of the pep rally is a game of horse. And anybody can volunteer if they think that they want to join in on the game. Um, and it is versus the robot that is hired by the school to clean up after sports practices and PE practices. So whenever, you know, footballs are left out on the field, or if you had practice in school one day, they go out and have to go find all of the golf balls. It's a very mundane job for a robot, but no human wants to do it. So um right now, if any of you would like to join, I don't know if anyone has any interest or if we're just gonna watch. Yeah, okay. I had a feeling. I had a feeling. Um, so basically there is a game of horse going on. And this robot, you know, like it can do a little bit of a calculation to know, like, okay, if you move over here, maybe they can get a better idea of the angle of how to get it into the hoop that way. You probably can't do any like really crazy spins or anything like that to really throw it off, or else it might not be able to copy you. But I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have you roll your, let's see. You can either roll body and have force or move. Or if you want to try to like really think it through, you can use mind and comprehend to see if you can do like the math of the, you know, like the physics of it.
My
What are you thinking, Pug?
my body force is 8, so I'm gonna go with that.
Okay. Okay. All
So,
right. So I think because you know, like I said, this robot can still do some calculations. It can kind of cheat a little bit with its high-tech stuff. I'm gonna make it so that you have to have 2 successes to be able to knock that final letter off.
okay. Let me just do 8d6 really quick. I have exactly 2 successes.
Okay.
2, 3, 4, 1, 6, 6, 1, 4.
Okay.
Buck scrimmaged against that robot one too many times. He knows you.
Mhm.
It's an epic battle. You know, it's the back and forth of Buck thinking he's figured out the perfect angle, and the robot just like seamlessly just whips the ball and just seems to have like this pre-planned trajectory of the arm. But both of you are at the point where you're getting close to the end, you're perfectly matched, and that final one, Buck, do you wanna pick what angle you're coming at it from, or like
It's just a game of horse, right? And this is a cleanup robot.
yeah.
Buck is going to not take a shot, but rather run and dunk it in much surprised because he's a 15-year-old, but he's got jump. You know, he's got that height. And just jumps and runs up and dunks it. And the janitorial team that was probably rooting for the robot just crosses their arms because they know that robot can't have any elevation.
Robots can't jump.
Okay. So you make this sweet dunk. Everyone's cheering in the crowd. The kids think they've won it. They're so excited. They don't even care about what happens with this robot. But you see the robot try anyway, and you kind of like feel the ground rumble a little bit as it's trying to like run to catch speed to be able to make this dunk anyway. And it just trips up on its feet. It's not even used to having to go that speed. It's usually like the slow, like it can take all after, all afternoon to pick up everything. So it was not prepared to have to try to have agility. So it just like falls flat on its face, ball still extended, and it ends up like kind of hitting at the feet of one of the janitorial squad. And they're just shaking their head. They're like, this kid. But I said,
I feel like Joe's teacher told Joe that she had to participate in one of the events, and she wasn't going to do anything like that candy cane ring toss where she had to touch other people, so she opted for the basketball.
Okay, do you want to give it a try too?
Yeah, so I'm going to use body and move because I get 7 with that.
All right, yeah, let's see, 2 successes to beat the robot.
Well, I got 3 5s, a 4, a 6, a 1, and a 3.
Okay, so you got 1 success?
I think so. It had to be a 6, right?
Yes, so it has to be a 6 to be able to be a success.
Is there assisting in this game? I can't remember.
I don't think there's a mechanic for it, but I honestly don't see any point in having a game where you can't assist.
Can I time stop and cheat so my girlfriend can win?
Like Joe's not even.
That's much better than my plan. I was just gonna throw trash in front of the robot so it would think it needed to clean up.
Like for the record, where Buck went in with all these crazy moves and he's like 100% into it, like Joe is putting the barest minimum effort into it.
So, and Joe is also shooting like with her hair down still.
Yeah.
So just like you can't even see where she's looking, but just getting these great hoops. Okay, so Isabel, if you want to go ahead and assist, I will just remind you all that the time stopper does have a finite amount of battery, but for this cool moment, I can't say no. Like, that's horrible.
I think what she's gonna do is she's gonna try to like temporarily reprogram the robot, so it'll miss its shot because I'm very good with my mind.
Okay. So I need you to roll. You said, wait, which one are you rolling?
I'm gonna roll mind.
Mind. Okay.
And I think Tinker might be the best.
Okay. So I think usually Tinker would be with tech, but I'll let you do it for this one time just to like comprehend and understand what you would be able to like.
My tech is good.
Okay. So yeah, go ahead. You'd only need 1 success to mess with the robot since time would be stopped.
I got 2 successes.
All right. So, the auditorium goes from roaring loud and, kids are screaming and already like trying to kind of flutter towards the door a little bit because they know they're allowed out after this. So the kids that kind of just don't want to be there, they're using the chaos as a kind of as a cover. So all of a sudden everything just is it just you wearing a bracelet or is anyone else wearing a bracelet too?
Anybody
the bracelets for the time stopper?
I want to say
I would probably think it's a very cool accessory, but if someone else would be like, I want this.
Well,
there was 4 of them.
Oh, there was 4. Oh, then yeah, I probably wear mine literally daily with like a ton of brightly colored bangles.
Okay.
Joe is not. Joe is not wearing.
No. Okay. Buck, do you think you'd be wearing one of the time stopper bracelets?
Probably just forgot to take it off.
All right, so everyone but Joe will all of a sudden just feel this quiet encompass this previously incredibly loud room. And you just have this moment of like, oh my god, thank god it's quiet. I don't have to worry about like faking being peppy for my school right now. Unless you want to be peppy for your school, then yeah, you just keep doing it. But so yeah, so Isabel, you go up to the robot, and there's probably like an easy way for you to just kind of like elbow open a side panel a little bit and just pull some wires, kind of rearrange some things a little bit, so that when it tries to copy what Joe just did, before everything stopped, it's just gonna short circuit once everything gets unpaused again. Does anyone else want to do anything during this moment of pause other than Joe, who is experiencing the pause? I'm assuming maybe for the first time, because last time you were in the know of the time stopper.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Oh man, I feel like I would want to throw.
Pranks.
Yes, I feel like there's something I want to do. I just don't know what it would be. I feel like maybe if there's like a particularly like teacher, you know, might do just like something really basic, like if they're holding a drink, I just flip it upside down in their hand kind of thing, you know, just something really inconvenient.
what do you think would be Crystal's least favorite topic in school?
Math.
Okay.
Easy.
All right.
Screw
so
that.
Your math teacher is just one of those ladies that always wears like the perfectly like pristinely ironed like pencil skirt and the blouse with the ruffles around it, and always just looks like she just sucked on a lemon and just looks like tight. And she's probably like told you your shirt before, whenever you're wearing something about aliens are real, she'll probably give you some kind of like mathematically speaking XYZ kind of stuff where you just, you know, she just rubs you the wrong way and you don't even fully know why. But so yeah, she will definitely probably be drinking like a seltzer water. Because you know, like the Diet Coke is for later on in the night when she wants to get a little crazy.
Right. Yeah.
Wants to let her hair down.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you want to tip that over, and actually you'll have that cool moment of like being able to tip it over, feeling that it's totally full but not actually seeing the liquid move yet. And it'll be like a weirdly scientific like physics thing to feel of like, whoa, the centripetal force of this is wrong.
Also, just for fun, because now after you've described her, I hate her even more. I'm creating things now at this point. I feel like maybe a cheerleader has like some confetti poppers as we're about to win, and I'll just point their hand towards them.
You're gonna feather this teacher with confetti.
Seltzer water and confetti.
Seltzer water and confetti instead of tar and feather. Yeah. It's pretty much the same thing, right?
Yeah.
Buck, do you think you would do anything during this time, or you have a few brief moments of just calm with all of your teammates in the same room, every teacher you've ever had?
I feel like mostly for Buck, it's just like confusion. You know, looking around like it's some kind of big joke, and then he'll eventually look at this person like, oh. and then just like look around and see everyone else moving, and see his friends, particularly Crystal. Like, Crystal, what are you doing? Start this way. Who's
nothing.
Who hit the button?
What?
Who hit the button?
I'm just like looking, seeing Joe still frozen. Isabella? Behind like the robot tinkering.
Oh, I mean, keep in mind, Isabel is literally like on the basketball court right now. Like everyone has been staring at this moment of the robot like trying to copy what Joe just did. So you can very clearly see Isabel, unless she's like behind the robot or something. But
Izzy, what are you doing?
I'm just trying to help.
What?
I'm just trying to help Joe win. Boost her confidence a little bit.
Don't you guys like make out for that kind of thing?
I mean, yes, kind of. We've only kissed the once and on the cheek, but that's beside the point. Then everybody will see how awesome and cool she is, not just us.
Right, that is something
meanwhile-
we all do.
Joe is frozen in the middle of the ugliest hook shot that Buck has ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
Clearly
Maybe
gonna
just correct her form a little bit, like just so
no.
she kind of gets that muscle memory for next time.
No, I leave Joe. I leave Joe to her fate.
While this conversation's happening too, I've readjusted the confetti cannon, and now I'm also untying her like extremely white Keds. That's just what I feel like she's probably wearing.
Yeah.
I'm untying them, not tying them back together. I don't want to hurt her. I just really want to inconvenience her in this moment. Anyway,
Okay.
she failed me because she says aliens don't exist, and then I rush back to my seat.
You have serious problems. Oh. And Buck's gonna head back to his group, but clearly not remember how exactly he was standing. So just try to do his best, like frozen person. Just get done with it, Izzy. Like.
Okay. I'm almost done. Just one more. Yep, there we go. Just clip that one. All right. And she starts just kind of like rushing back on her little legs back to her seat.
Okay. And do you turn off the time?
And I turned it
dropper?
off as soon as everybody's like back to where they were.
All right. Everyone starts going back, roaring with life. They were probably like in the middle of a cheer, so it was just like I don't know cheers. I just know like the go like anyway. They're in some
They
mid
spell
cheer
out
and
woolly
then
mammoth. It takes way too long, and it's the worst cheer ever. They're like,
W
Oh,
O another O L another L.
N-A-S-T-O.
everyone's just like, please stop.
They so
Give
they're
him
in
the
the
toss,
process of
give him the
spelling they're in the middle of spelling woolly mammoth, and when they come back to life, it is just moth. That's all. Just the last 4 letters of mammoth. It doesn't make any sense out of context, but they think that they just successfully did their cheer. And so the robot starts to move forward to start to go into the position, and it starts like sparking at like the source of where you were kind of like were fiddling with stuff, and it goes to shoot and just loses its momentum, so the ball just like partway through the hand motion, the ball just plops down. And there's a moment of silence where the entire team is just like, let's go.
Woo!
Except the janitors are
Who could have
pissed.
expected that?
Let's go!
Right.
Is exactly what she says. We can leave now, right?
So you see the janitors are totally pissed, because that means they have to figure out what happened to this robot, because if it's not working, if it's malfunctioning, they also would have to go pick up all of the, like, everything after this whole thing is done. They're gonna have to clean it up instead of these robots. But that doesn't matter.
Don't abuse your robots, people.
So,
Yeah,
there's
I bet you
this-
the cops like purposely shoot golf balls at it and stuff. I feel real bad for it.
Well, maybe
Yeah?
I
Your girlfriend
remember-
just fucked with its brain.
So everyone's cheering. Everyone's so excited. They're so pumped. It's the end of the day. They're all hyper and everything like that. And then the principal comes up, has a microphone in his hand. And for some reason, he thought that this was a great time to try to get everyone to calm down again, to make an announcement. So, you know, everyone's cheering, everyone's ready to go home, and he's trying to get you all to sit down and be quiet. So, your principal, Fair. So your principal is just like this kind of like sweaty, balding man who's just like, you know, he's gonna try to like, he has this microphone and he's gonna try to make a silly way of kind of getting you all to calm down. But first he kind of just sits there, and again he's just like kind of rigidly standing there like whatever, and he just tries the and like you can tell a few people have like realized that the principal's trying to talk and don't want to get in trouble, so they kind of quiet down, but like most of the people are hyper. They're just, this was a great win. Joe and Buck both won it for the kids team. And he does it again. Again, like maybe a few more people kind of tone it down. And he's like, everyone quiet down or I'm giving you all detention. And he tries to like kind of have like that little awkward chuckle. And that gets most other people, like whether he was trying to be serious or not, it gets people to shut up just because it's the principal threatening detention, where all of you could literally just have the doors be closed of the gymnasium and all be kept after school. So he kind of is just like, I'm kidding. But he kind of like taps it just to make sure, and then it gets that reverb that everyone hates, because it just always happens when someone has a microphone in their hand, and he pulls it away from himself, and he's like, so before everyone leaves, I just want to make sure I make an announcement, since I have all of you in the same room. So one of your fellow students, Constance Harlow, went to the space camp that was happening at the Loop this weekend, and see, her parents said that she never came back from space camp, and I'm sure she's fine, but just they've been contacting me a lot to try to figure out if any of you teeny boppers might know where she is. So if anyone has any
Teeny
idea where
bopper?
Constance, yeah, teeny bopper.
Wow.
Yep, pulling out the old school ones. So if any of you teeny boppers know where she might be and you want to tell me, it'll probably get her parents off my back. But
It's
just,
probably
you know,
the aliens. You know, the ones that run the loop.
do you say that
We're
loud
not-
enough to try to like
We're not with
Scream
her.
it so
We're not-
everyone can hear. She has
Not
no
with her.
filter.
Not formally affiliated.
They're not all aliens.
I'm just standing there like, yeah, in the like humans aren't real alien t-shirt, petting my pet rat, just deadpan, super serious, crazy hair, like just very much in the sea of browns and ivory is in every other possible color.
Yeah.
I'm just like,
Joe-
it's
Joe is-
aliens.
Joe is wearing entirely black for the record.
you know, I kind of figured that. Or Isabel, are you wearing anything that's not school colors too?
Oh no, she's definitely wearing like an ivory shirt and like a brown skirt, because Chip is the exact same color, so it's easy to hide in her lap.
Perfect.
But as Crystal's yelling this, she kind of turns to her and goes, "They're not all aliens." And then gets this look on her face like, what if I'm half alien?
I guess it's not all aliens, because I'm pretty sure my brother's not an alien. He's really weird. But anyway, you know, it's probably the aliens, so you could just tell her parents that.
The principal just sighs and he's like, "Thank you, Crystal.
You're welcome. I get up like
Anyone, if anyone has any serious inquiries, let me know." And he just turns off the mic. He looks resigned and just like walks out the doors even before any of the other students do. And then all of you just start flooding out after him.
Joe's got a notepad out, and on the top is a song titles ? And she writes down "Never came back from space camp."
Oh, I'm so ready for this song for later. Act 2. Okay. So before all of you filter out, Taylor, I want you to make me some kind of, let's see. I'm thinking either mind, comprehend or empathize. Or maybe a heart contact, depending. Empathize? Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. All right. So I'm doing as many d6s that have those points, yeah?
Yes. So, like, if you have, like, 2 in mind and 2 in empathize, then you'd have 4, for example.
Cool. I got 3 in mind, 2 in empathize, and I want 6s?
Yep. Let me know how many 6s you got.
1 6.
Okay. All right. So, you start walking out, like you said, with the rest of you kind of start walking out a little bit ahead of everyone else because you made your point and now you're ready to go home. And you're probably like starting to walk towards your locker to go grab your bag when you have that moment of realization of like Constance.
I think was Taylor having that realization. Was that the kid I met last time? That was also
Yeah.
weird. Okay.
So her name was Connie. So even your
That's
character would
right,
have
yeah.
sat there and not realized like right away because you're so used to calling her Connie that like that's why I made you roll because like even your character might have been sitting there like, wait, Constance? So
Yeah.
you have that realization of, oh my god, that's right. I haven't seen Connie since like it's like Tuesday. Like pep rallies are never just like on a convenient time or day. So like it's a Tuesday, you have to go home and do homework still or something, but like you're like, "Oh my god, that's right. I haven't seen her in like 2 days." Like I probably haven't seen her since Friday. And
Last time she
you
showed up under the table.
What was that?
It was the last time she showed up under the table.
Yeah.
Well, she
Came
didn't
by
on
with a box of
Monday.
nerds on Friday. And that was last I saw her.
Yep. And then so she didn't on Monday, and then now that you think of it, she didn't join you guys yesterday or today either.
Huh.
So so you're walking away from that with just making that realization. And you go to your locker, you kind of like are starting to like fiddle with your combination to get your stuff out because of course, why would they let you all bring your book bags to the pep rally? You still have to go collect all your things before you go home.
Joe whistled a little tune, and Kit, her robot, was wheeling out from under the bleachers. That's where my books are.
Okay. Actually, yeah. What are the other two of you doing first before I do this? Isabel and Buck. Are you gonna go and grab your books or?
Oh, I got practice.
Oh, okay.
Belle keeps all of her books and then some on her, because not only
even
does she
even awkwardly on the bleachers at a pep rally where people are bumping into you. Okay.
Absolutely, she always has her books because they're in her bag. That is Chip's little fort.
That's
she
right.
has her books so that he can just fit in a nice, safe space inside there. So she always has all of her books, and then whatever library books she took out.
Okay. All right. So then Joe, you're going to your locker. Isabel, you don't need to go to your locker, so you could kind of just hang around or start heading out. Buck has practice.
Belle is gonna go find Buck.
Okay.
Since Joe is too.
Sure. So before we do that, I do just want to Crystal, when you go to your locker and you go, I don't know if you're grabbing books or if maybe you just want to like grab something that you forgot in your locker, but you open your locker, and when you do, the pamphlet for the space camp that Connie went to flutters out of your locker and falls on the floor because you remember her mentioning that space camp. But she kind of made it sound like it was a bunch of like math and like really serious thinking stuff like astrophysics and like, you probably weren't totally sold on it, so you probably just jammed it in your locker, but have the pamphlet of where your friend would be.
Yeah, I'll definitely like kind of grab it. Grab just. I feel like she's definitely grabbing books, they are not school books because one, she's 10 years old. How many textbooks does she actually have to carry around? So it is a lot of like probably some like alien based graphic novels, definitely some just like books about space, not the physics part, just like how cool it is and how big it is, and like those sort of things, and kind of like uses it as a bookmark, and we'll just kind of start walking out, like flipping through it, hoping maybe to run into Isabel or Joe. Probably Joe more just because she knows Joe hangs out kind of like at the hangout all the time and doesn't do a lot after school, so we'll probably go there first to see.
Sure.
Or go to where she knows Joe is first.
Sure. So, I forgot to mention this at the beginning, but basically from last session, about 2 or 3 months has passed. It's the same school year, but it's like you can all like, know where each other's lockers are, know each other's like you've been friends enough that if you want to have like a meeting spot at school or something, just to like know that you're all gonna walk to the airplane together afterwards or something like that. Like you probably have that sort of stuff figured out. So if you want to just
I feel like there
walk...
was somewhere, wasn't there somewhere that Joe would like play her guitar that was like kind of near school?
Yeah, it was like a couple blocks away. It was an alley behind a diner, I think.
Yeah.
That was shady.
Okay, so before we do that, Isabel, you wanted to meet up with Buck before he went to practice?
She would kind of be like a few feet away because there are times where it's like Buck is with his cool friends and she's definitely known as a nerd. Psst, Buck, is now a good time?
I feel like it'll be like during practice. He's got his helmet off on the sidelines, just getting some water, just like not looking at her. What's up?
I'm just gonna leave this for you. Mrs. Cromwell's been over the last couple of days, and she brings a lot of food, and there's no way I can eat it, even if I give it to Chip. And next to him, she sets down like this casserole dish of God knows what. Whatever old ladies.
That all day.
80s mystery casserole,
Does it have gelatin?
No.
Where were you keeping that all day?
It in my backpack for sure. She's
With
still a child.
Is this separate from where your dog is, right?
Yes.
So the dog couldn't have like broken into this
No.
mystery casserole? Okay.
No.
Okay. Cool. Okay. So yeah, Buck, you're given an entire casserole.
All right. He puts this like bag of some pads and stuff over it, just like, thanks.
There's more at the hideout if you want it.
Great.
It's been a long weekend.
Great, yeah. And then I imagine the coach will shout for Buck, "What the hell are you doing? You're practicing or sitting." And he'll throw his 80s lacrosse helmet on, which is effectively more of a salad bowl colander or something than an actual protective piece of equipment. And we'll run back onto the field.
Okay. So Isabel, do you go to meet up with Joe and Crystal after school?
Oh, absolutely. She doesn't have anything else to do. She can read with them as she can anywhere else.
All right. So all three of you will at different times end up meeting up in this alley kind of behind the diner. Crystal, you said you were going there first. Did you want to do anything with Joe first? Like say anything or...
No, I feel like it's probably just a kind of part of her now, like afternoon routine, probably just kind of go say, hey, what's up? But then also now having something to talk about. So like doesn't necessarily need to be only with Joe. If Isabella kind of shows up, I can just be like, so space camp's weird, right? And maybe, yeah, I think that's kind of the plan.
I feel like Joe takes a strange kind of comfort in Crystal's presence, whether she's talking or not.
Yeah, I feel like it's the same. I mean, I think Crystal is very energetic and just always like go. So she's willing to sit there and talk, but if you're like sitting there playing music, she's sitting there reading her comics. Just kind of like being in the same space kind of vibes.
So when Isabel ends up joining you, what would it look like? Like, she's probably a little bit further behind because she tried to catch up with Buck. So, you're just sitting there reading your comic, and
Yeah, Joe's.
she just follows the trail of Joe's music to the alley.
Joe's working on a tasty bass lick.
Okay.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I'm like sitting on like some sort of stacks of like crates or something in this alleyway, just reading through probably the pamphlet currently. Like, it's still kind of in my book, but I'm looking more at it to be like, who's really behind this?
Sure.
Seeing if I can find any secret messages from the aliens in the wording of this pamphlet.
Probably the
So
lizard people.
Lizard people.
you guys read my mind. Geez, I don't even need to tell the rest of the story. You already figured it out.
We're done.
All right, bye everyone.
Goodbye.
So I did write out a little bit of what would be in the pamphlet.
Hell yeah.
So if you want to be reading that, I can kind of, it's a very awkwardly put together pamphlet where like you can tell that like some really serious scientists are like trying to appeal to kids. So they're like trying to be, you know. So you are reading the pamphlet, and the space camp is called In a Galaxy Close, Close By. A space camp that makes you feel far, far away from right in our own town. And you open it, and it's kind of like this whole little message as if it's coming from an astronaut. Greetings, aspiring astronauts from a galaxy not too far away. Have you ever wanted to travel the extraordinary wonders of the universe, but don't have the training to do so? Are you just a kid with big dreams that doesn't know how to actually become an astronaut? Well, have no fear. Thanks to the work of our genius scientists here at the Loop, you can be one step closer to your NASA dreams. And then it has like little, you know, pictures of, you know, like some kid in like one of those chair contraptions that like spins around and all that sort of stuff. It's not from inside the Loop. It's just the idea of like that's one of the things they have.
Yeah, it's stock from like NASA in Florida. They're just using that image.
Exactly. Some of the pictures are just like very clearly like in different locations. Like one of them looks like it has like concrete walls in the background. One of it looks like it's like has like one of those like projectors that's making stars around. And you're like, that's not the same place. But you do find a list of what they kind of are claiming to offer through this space camp. And it includes lectures from real astronauts, zero gravity chamber, model rocket building, and so much more. But most importantly, in like the biggest letters, like literally on its own panel, in huge lettering, it says, "Be the very first group to try out our new space simulator." And then it'll have like little directions on the back of like, camp starts on this day and goes until this day, and it's taking place inside of the Loop, and you know, instructions on kind of how to get into the Loop, because you know it's a really high security place, but you know you can show up at the front gate and be like, I'm here for space camp, and they'll like walk you through just one area kind of thing. It's like very specific instructions of like, show up at exactly this time or you will miss when we enter the Loop. Talk to this person, that sort of stuff.
Question: Is there an ask your parent or guardian on the instruction list, or is it just, hey kid, show up here?
Hey kid, show up.
There's a price that a kid definitely could not have the money for. Yeah.
I don't know. I know a lot of lawns in Arizona. It's really easy money. Most of them are grass and
well,
dead
we're
grass.
not in Arizona. We're in Colorado. Or no, we're in Nevada. Nevada. We're in Nevada.
We're out in the middle of the desert.
So Arizona.
I know my own lore.
Yeah, it's still Arizona, basically.
Yeah.
Same at that point.
You know, still, understood.
Yeah, so like for the 80s, it's probably like, I don't know, maybe $400, $500 to go to space camp for the weekend. I don't know if you could probably save that up if you were like really, really good with your money as a 15-year-old, or 14-year-old. Yeah, it's
That's like
it's
2
no,
summers of full work.
I looked up a space camp and I think it said it was like $1,000, like 1,500 or something like that.
Yeah.
So I tried to do my research best I can. So yeah, it's something where you would not be able to probably uh get to space camp without having asked your parents for that type of money, unless you're just really, really good with money as a
Yeah,
teenager.
even if Joe's mom sold the trailer, they wouldn't have that much money.
Yeah. So
But
4,000.
Joe,
Oh, I get it. I just yell out as I finish reading that, and probably as Isabella walks up. The aliens were the one that made the space simulation, and then they took everyone that was a part of it because it was part of the simulation.
Joe's reading the pamphlet
Hey.
over your shoulder, and she says,
I
Yeah,
think
you-
I need context.
"He says you're probably." She says you're probably right. Only an alien would use that many exclamation marks.
Though. Anyway, I think that Connie got abducted by aliens from the loop. Here you go. Whatever.
Okay.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah. My dad was doing this space camp thing. That's why.
Are
That's
you
why I
sure
was
your
prob-
dad's not an alien?
I said earlier I might be half alien.
You gotta test it. I don't
How
know
do
what
you
the test
test it?
is. I don't know, but we're gonna come up with one.
We're gonna come up with a test. You know what?
I think
Miss
aliens glow
Cromwell-
under black light like scorpions.
Where's a black? Let's find a black light.
Oh, there was one at the rolling rink. Let's go take your dad roller skating.
You guys go roller rink to rob them again. You've already done it once, might as well, right?
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, he said he was gonna be helping with this space camp while he was helping me work on a dog collar for Chip.
All right. I'm not ruling out that your dad's not an alien, is an alien. I don't know the proper way to make that sentence. But what is this collar?
It's to make Chip talk.
Hold on. Chip can talk?
Well, not yet, but once we finish the collar, that's the plan. We're gonna try and get Chip to talk.
I need one for Nicodemus.
I will
First
add it to-
cybernetic.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, I'm sure if it'll work for a dog, it'll work for a rat, right?
Yeah.
They
They
just need
seem
different
about as smart
sizes.
as each other, surprisingly, so it should work.
I mean, they do chase each other in circles, and neither of them can catch each other.
Yeah, as they both jump out of their respective bags and are running in this alley.
And
Okay,
Chip does
okay.
kind of look like a rat. Now that I think, but a cute one.
Nicodemus is
Like
about as big as
Nicodemus.
a dog, so. Maybe they're brothers.
They might be. Hey, you want some pudding? Joe, you want some
Yeah.
pudding?
Oh yeah.
I got some of Miss Cromwell's banana pudding. It's really good.
That sounds amazing.
One good thing about my dad spending the weekends at the Loop is that I get Miss Cromwell's food. And I pull out 3 spoons, like plastic spoons. But these are in like smaller, like Tupperware. It's not in like a big dish, just smaller.
The biggest backpack. You can fit a
Yeah.
casserole.
That vintage lime green
Yep.
Tupperware from the 80s.
Yeah,
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, hold on.
Joe holds a spoon to do like the cheers.
Cheers.
Ring spoons.
Your dad's at the Loop on the weekends too?
I mean,
for
there's
space
some.
camp?
He was doing the space camp, but I mean, it's not unusual for him to be gone for.
Has your dad
Dang.
come home from this weekend?
No. But he doesn't come home from work a lot. There was one time he didn't come home for like a month and a half.
Dude, your dad's an alien.
Oh, so
He's got another family in space. I hate to tell you, but
So, okay, I think around this time, after you've all had some pudding and you're like knee deep into like conspiracy theories about the alien status of Isabel's family, um Buck, would you
100%
would you
in her
be
mind.
joining them when like you kind of get out of practice?
But mind you, probably what Isabel thinks is a month is probably really only like a week.
That's fair. My dad was gone for like so many days and he was gone for like an hour. Yeah. Um so do you think you would meet up with with the group after practice?
Yes, but it does take a little bit longer. I feel that's kind of become the norm though, because after practice, he's got to go pick up his sister from after school care, walk her back home, get all the food, get all the microwavable food microwaved, and you know, put that in front of her as she watches some kind of cartoon or something, and hope he gets back before it turns into the weird stuff. Um,
I mean, I'm assuming too that you probably have like um if it's kind of one of those things where Rose's friends kind of know that there's a lot of times where like, you know, her like it's not one of those things a kid gets, but like the mom of like a kid will get of like, oh, okay, like it seems like Rose a lot of times like probably doesn't have her dad like around to help out. So like I'd assume there's probably also like a friend that Rose goes over like her friend's house a lot, and it's just like totally fine if just Rose just shows up.
I figure we
So
probably live on like a cul-de-sac or something, and so yeah,
yeah,
but I think Buck still tries to, get everything set up and handled on his own.
yeah.
Uh, that's like his thing, and he likes spending time with Rose. So, he'll get her food, and then okay, here's your key. So and so down the road said you can come over and hang out if you need to call somebody. Uh, and here's the phone. It has 911 pre-dial. Just hit the green button, and no. But he'll show up. It's just obviously probably back at the hangout rather than the cool alleyway where people
The cool
are.
kids are.
Well, no, but
Oh, sorry guys. That he doesn't think you're cool.
Excuse you.
No.
He doesn't
pretty
like the
much.
shady
Look,
alley.
I'm your friend. That doesn't mean I have to think you're cool.
Valid.
Yikes.
I can know my friends are losers.
Valid.
All right. Well, so I'm assuming like over time you guys have kind of migrated towards your actual hangout now that like, so you're in the plane by the time that Buck kind of comes around after, making sure everything's okay with his sister and making sure he's hopefully eaten at least a decent amount of that casserole that he was just given. No? You don't think he'd eat that after practice? You're on mute.
He'd probably try a little bit of it, and if it's good, then he'd go for it. But I don't know, old lady
It's
casserole.
definitely good. So Mrs. Cromwell is known to be a very good cook.
All right, yeah, we'll see. He'll have some and probably be like have like a plastic bowl on his way out as he's walking down the street.
Like it's one of those casseroles that like has like Fritos in it or something like that, like
Oh.
just to make it like
Yeah,
fun.
the crunchy. Yeah, absolutely.
So it'll be something that appeals to you probably. But yes, okay, so you're walking, you're eating this casserole, and what kind of chaos does Buck walk into at the plane? What conversation is being had? Are you going to break into the loop again, or break into the roller rink again and get a black light?
No, I think it started with that of, and I was thinking more of like, I guess it'd be more bowling. I don't know how to roller skate. I've never gone to a roller rink alley, but like, like late night at bowling alleys, it's all like black light and it's all like weird. That was the vibe she was thinking. But she's moved past that and is now planning a full on how do we get into the loop to this science camp, because I need to see the aliens because they're obviously real, because they are there because your dad's an alien and they've definitely taken Connie, and she's not she's smart, but she's not like street smart, you know? So I like, she doesn't know like all the things about the aliens, so I gotta just like make sure that she's okay.
Are you sure Connie's not an alien?
I'm pretty sure. We've gone bowling together, but I don't remember if she glowed.
She sort of just pops up out of nowhere.
That is
You're not
true.
wrong.
What are you guys talking about?
I also had a theory that she might be a ghost, so maybe.
A ghost
Wait, hi, Beth.
alien?
The layers. It keeps getting deeper.
Maybe Connie's really just an alien onion. And like aliens are really just ghosts.
So
Like, if
she's
you take
related
out-
to ogres. Ogres are like onions. Ghosts, aliens are like onions. They've got layers.
You like on something?
A lot of nerds and banana pudding.
Yes, we've had a lot of banana pudding. Do you want some banana pudding?
And
Hmm.
Pop-Tarts.
Yeah, he'll
Mm.
motion for you to pass it over and just kind of like out the window, side window of the bomber, just dump the rest of the casserole and put the banana pudding in the new cup and just start shoveling that in. Coach says I gotta put on 10 pounds.
We have more Pop-Tarts too.
Good.
Okay.
Sorry, what about aliens though? No, don't actually tell me about aliens. Like, what
We're
are you
gonna-
talking about, Connie?
We're gonna break into the loop.
You're go-
Yeah.
We're gonna what?
We're gonna break into the loop, find the aliens, and find Connie.
Mhm.
You-
And my dad's an alien.
Mm-hmm. And has
Wait.
another family on Mars.
Could be Europa.
That's
Like,
amazing.
Yes.
okay.
Anyway.
Oh, probably shouldn't break into the loop. It's
We
like
could ask
guard-
politely.
Yeah, but there's like
Hmm.
security guards and
Oh yeah,
science
Daryl.
people.
I know Daryl. He's great.
And he's just gonna let you in?
I mean, he has before.
And my brother works there, so we could maybe like swing that we're just there to see our family and we brought y'all along or something. Or you could pretend you're trying to go to space camp. I've got the pamphlet. I've got something in here that could probably help too. And she starts like just digging through boxes, trying to find like various things to like try and make Buck or Joe look like space enthusiasts. And not very much the opposite of such.
Just gets a pin like,
Yeah.
you know, space is
I
out
love
of this
space.
world.
Yeah.
I take a pair of my glasses and put them on Joe.
They're
It's
just
just-
over the hair.
Yeah, cousin thing.
Yes.
Okay, so if anyone would
That's it.
like, you can also roll me a heart contact to see if you can think of anything else helpful for different plans, because there have been rumors about the loop. You know, there's always stuff going on. There's always rumors going around school. Maybe one of them could be helpful. So if anyone wants
If
to...
I don't have any contact, can you still roll it, or do you have to have a point in the skill?
Yes, so you
you just
just
roll the
roll your
attribute.
heart alone.
I'll roll it. I have a 6 in heart contact. And I've got 2 6s.
All
Let's
right.
go.
Okay.
And 2 5s, a 4, and a 1. So,
Okay, well, hey, you know what? Actually, this is perfect because Buck is the one that's very clearly like the one that's not interested in trying to break into the loop. So you do remember one rumor, and you remember too about like one of your like lacrosse dudes kind of telling you about it because they like tried to do that whole like they were instead of like haunted houses in this world, everyone's trying to like do the thing that'll like get them in trouble around the loop, and they'll dare each other to do stuff. So you remember one of your lacrosse buddies telling you about a tunnel that goes, he said the entrance was kind of like a few thought like 100 feet out from the loop, but you remember him mentioning that he learned about like a tunnel system that would bring him there. And because you got a second success, you will also know that he said he saw something really spooky down there that like he couldn't handle it. He was just kind of like, oh shit, and he said he heard like some weird growling sound down there. But
Alien monsters.
No. Joe, did you also want to see if you
aliens.
remembered anything? Or did anyone else roll, or
I did, but I didn't get any successes.
okay, no
Here,
successes?
I can try and roll. My
Crystal
heart.
instead. Yeah, I only had heart. Crystal instead has been like digging through like boxes of things and pulls out a jacket of her brother's and holds it up to Buck and is like, this could probably fit. You could maybe look like you're from NASA.
You got the jaw for it.
I'm gonna take that as a yes, and I just throw it over his head.
It's like, yeah, we'll swap out the Letterman begrudgingly.
Isabel, did you get any successes?
I got one success.
Okay. So you will be able to kind of piece together a little bit more of what Buck already knows. You have also heard about this tunnel, but you have like heard this really weird rumor that you don't know if it's true or not, that like there's this one kind of mad scientist who's been trying to like create monsters from like different movies and stuff like that, like on a smaller scale, like kind of for an amusement park that he's trying to make. Like he's trying to make like a mini Godzilla, kind of think Spy Kids 2, that like island where the guy was making like flying pigs and stuff like that. Think of that on like a smaller scale. And you've heard something about like him using those tunnels for like safekeeping or his rejects or something like that.
Is that like the loop version of using the office copier for personal stuff?
No.
All right, it's a company-wide announcement. Who has been using the CRISPR to create their own horrors of man?
They've got CRISPR down so much faster than we ever did, you know? It's wild. But yeah, so between the two of you, you do know of that alternate way to that's another option for whatever you want to do.
Like, if we're gonna go in, we might just go through the tunnels, right? So don't have to deal with security guards or whatever their names were.
Just the monsters that are down there. That's all.
Monsters.
Oh yeah.
Monsters.
There's apparently some weird guy that's where he likes to store his little creations, like some kind of Dr. Frankenstein.
We're definitely going there.
Everyone knows Dr. Frankenstein died in like 1805.
That's what they want you to think.
Is that actually a for real fact? Like, is that the actual time when Dr. Frankenstein died? Okay.
No.
I was gonna say, did Buck just like have some random knowledge that he just pulled out of nowhere and like
No,
I'm piece of literature?
pretty sure canonically Frankenstein, Dr. Frankenstein,
Dr.
not Adam,
Mhm.
was like late 1800s. But
Okay.
even still, I'd have to recheck Mary Shelley.
Mhm.
Blessed may she be.
Okay.
So we're going to go through creepy tunnels with creepy monsters to find the creepy aliens to save my friend and possibly your dad if it turns out he's not an alien, but I'm pretty sure he's an alien.
I mean, could we still save him even if he is an alien?
No, because he's involved in the kidnapping.
But what if he's an alien but not involved?
Oh, then that's fine.
Okay.
I don't think aliens are bad, just the ones that are kidnapping my friends.
I'll bet your mom was the alien, Belle.
You know, I never met my mom, so that's
Oh.
quite possible.
What if you're full alien? Do
Dad would
aliens just look like
explain
us?
so much.
We gotta go bowling real quick.
Joe writes down in her notebook, "My alien girlfriend," and underlines.
Joe is gonna have the best songs after this adventure.
I mean, it's gonna be perfect for the glam rock, like space themes of the '80s rock scene.
Yeah.
But also, it turns out Buck might have actually been right. Because Frankenstein was written in 1818.
You were far off.
Okay. So all of you just have this moment where like he just makes some random like Buck just makes some like random offside comment about like, oh yeah, like Mary Shelley or Dr. Frankenstein probably died in like early 1800s, like 1880, and you all just like stop your like alien conspiracy theory hypothesizing for a second, like, really?
It's published in 1818. So,
But Frankenstein's monster was kind of undead, so could they have died again? Maybe it's actually.
I think
no, they both died in the ice. Like, did you even read the book?
No.
I did I, but like.
I think the doctor was the real monster.
Mrs. Cratcher says society was the monster, so I guess
nature
whatever.
versus nurture. It's the real argument here.
Either way, it's probably not down in the tunnel, so like whatever, it's probably just a coyote or something. Chet's scared of dogs, so that's why he probably ran when he heard some kind of howl. It could even be a badger.
Okay. I mean, this is only sweetening the pot for me, if we're gonna be honest.
Right. I kind of have to agree with Crystal.
Joe goes to the back of the plane, rummages through some of her stuff that she's got in there, and pulls out what look like flashlights without the casings, and then she unscrews Kit's eyes and then screws those back in. Then punches in a few keys on the back, and suddenly Kit's eyeballs are bright halogens.
That's gonna be very
you're so
helpful down in the
smart.
tunnels.
That sounds good. Okay. What else do we need? What else do we need to like sneak into the loop? Maybe I can go like rummage through my brother's room. He's probably at work or maybe there. I don't know. He doesn't really pay attention to me a lot. We're working on it though. We had dinner the other night. Anyway, and see if there's anything useful.
I can see.
I also need to drop off all my comics.
I can see if my dad left his key card at the house again.
So
might want to bring his bat or a lacrosse stick or something. He's pretty good at hitting things.
I'm some baseball nerd. And he'll go and again, like out the window, we'll just bring in a long pole. Like I always have one in the hideout.
Hey Joe, you should make sure you've got your bracelet on this time, just in case.
Yeah, like it was really awkward when you didn't have it at the pep rally.
Mm-hmm. We got so much trouble. Well, I did.
My
pudding.
Oh, I knew it was you, Belle. That angle was all wrong. And she takes the bracelet off of Kit, who mostly wears it.
I love that probably that entire time this little robot's just like watching us like cause mayhem. Like, oh boy. Okay, well then I'm gonna run home. I'm gonna drop off all my stuff. Are we meeting back here? Or are we meeting back where? Once I do some digging into my brother's things and then also probably eat dinner because otherwise Mama's gonna be really mad.
Just meet up here. We'll be ready or whatever.
Okay.
I also just do want to give a friendly GM reminder that you all stole roller skates, as well as the grease.
Yeah, they're hung up here on the.
I knew you wouldn't forget them, but you know, I wanted to make sure I didn't forget.
We have our names carved into what probably would have been fighter pilot, their jacket pegs.
Yes.
And so we have them with their names carved in the metal above them.
The Bombay
I
makes a
have
great
been
one.
spending the last 2 months
Oh my
learning
God.
how to roller skate, so I am semi-competent.
Yeah, no. Joe's absolutely correct. It's one of the bomb bays where they would normally hold the bombs.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so all of you are stocking up, you're getting all these cool things, you're, maybe
Like-
shoving them into a duffel bag for special effect kind of thing, like in the movies.
Military montage where
Yeah. Suit up.
Harry Pop Tarts go into a backpack pocket.
Mhm.
Uh,
Very
Isabel,
important.
Isabel leaves a note for Mrs. Cromwell, spending the night with Crystal.
Okay. And then Buck, are you gonna make sure that like everything's set with Rose? Or I mean, you did tell her that she could go to her friend's house.
Yeah, no, I figure once Buck gets back there, everything she's already gone, and left a note, staying over, but it's in crayon. So and he'll probably go up and check and grab the old plates that have been cleaned by outside his dad's room and bring them down and put them in the dishwasher with what's we're controlling the camera here, a bunch of other very clearly used plates, and he's like one slot away from it being full, kind of sighs and just puts it and decides to do it next time.
Okay.
But he will get another casserole and will get his most solid feeling, like full metal. Usually they're like a wood or a polymer kind of thing, but he's getting his full metal short stick.
Yeah.
Joe sneaks into the trailer and just leaves a note on the fridge, saving the world, Mom, don't wait up. Oh, she goes.
Okay.
Isabel also grabs, so she has a prototype that actually fits Chip, but the very first one they made, she made too small because, she's a kid. She's not going to actually measure. Maybe it'll fit a rat.
Pikachu was gonna talk. They're all getting ready, doing cool things, and I'm just sitting there eating spaghetti with my grandma.
You said you're also gonna look through
I
your
gotta
brother's
go.
room too, right?
But I am gonna dig through his room and see if I can find anything
So-
of interest.
I'm imagining right now there's these action scenes of Buck suiting up to make sure he has this he does the thing where he whacks his hand to make sure this is a solid one, and saving the world, don't wait up, and then you're just quiet montage of you and your grandma just having awkward small talk over spaghetti, and then back
Clinking
to
silverware plates.
yeah, and then back to Isabel searching around trying to find stuff in her dad's thing, and finding this picking up one of the collars and nodding and being yeah, this will do. And then you're just starting to
Back
walk
to
up the
slurp
stairs
of
to
a
your brother's
noodle.
room.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Isabel also looks for one of her dad's key cards because he's very prone to just leaving them at the house.
Yeah, it's honestly at this point it's one of those things where he probably has multiples of them because he keeps accidentally forgetting them at home, and they're okay, Reese, here's another one, don't lose this one too.
There's also been times that Isabel has had to take him his key card.
Yep. Okay. So yeah,
because
there's
the
definitely...
loop is we're not giving you another one. That's the 5th one this week, and it's been 2 days.
Okay. Yeah,
Such
so
a security risk.
You can't remember
Yeah,
things.
you'd think that he'd be a little bit more careful. Okay, so Crystal, you work your way up to your brother's room. You could roll either a mind investigate or
Yes, please.
yeah, okay, cool.
That is 2 of my best stats.
Perfect.
2 successes.
Okay. So you're digging around your brother's room, and you kind of find a lot of metal scraps. You're not really sure what some of the stuff does. You're fiddling around. The room's probably a mess. He looks like one of those, he seems like one of those mad scientist kids, but that is really nonchalant about not keeping his workspace clean. sort of vibe, if that's
Fully. Mhm.
yeah. But
He is my
when
problem, so yes.
okay, yeah, so oh, that's right. I forgot about problems and
My
anchors
brother's
and
doing
stuff like
weird
that.
things in his room
Yeah, yeah.
specifically is my problem.
Um, so going off of the same vibe of the other Nicodemus we know from Cyberpunk. In your brother's room, you find these like two little almost robo suit looking things, but for like one that looks like it's Nicodemus's size, and then the other one's like a little bit bigger than Nicodemus. And considering Nicodemus isn't that much bigger than or that much smaller than Chip, you kind of have it in your head of like, would this fit Chip? And it kind of looks like one of those like it's almost like a little like exoskeleton kind of just like thing that goes down the spine a little bit, and it kind of like wraps like goes like a harness underneath like the arms or like the the legs of
Yeah.
Nicodemus. It looks like he probably has stolen Nicodemus from you at one point to like
Yeah, I just like
fit
look
it.
Nicodemus on my shoulder. I'm like, is that? And he's just like, okay.
So yeah, if you'd like that.
Yeah.
Because you rolled a second one, I'm trying to think of what else your brother would have that would be helpful.
Black light.
yeah, he has a black light.
Do you want a
Because he
black
actually
light?
he's just one of those dudes that like likes to give himself the atmosphere to like seem like a mad scientist. So a lot of times he'll actually like work with a black light right above where he's working instead of actually like having his lights on. Like he just has that one black light that's like big and huge.
Black
right
light and like a
over.
lava lamp.
Yes.
That's like all he works from.
I don't know if you want the lava lamp, but the black light is
Do you want the
you
black
can
lamp?
okay.
Do you want that? Is there like a I feel like something, I don't know, possibly useful if we're about to be breaking in, like a welcome to the team pamphlet that maybe has like information on the loop, a little map maybe.
Honestly, I actually, as soon as you said pamphlet, I was actually thinking maybe it does have a map. It's not a complete map because it wouldn't have like the really like private sectors for the
Right,
newbies, like
whatever is
the
good for
top
him.
secret ones. But so kind of like like the general stuff of like here are the main labs, here's the break room, like here's the staircase to the like to go downstairs, here's like a staircase to go up to the second floor. So not a complete map, but definitely something you think you could use.
Helpful. Chunk that, take the black light, put the two little exoskeleton. Actually, I'll put the one on Nicodemus right now. Why not? We're here. Like, I feel like he probably also just like steps into it. When a dog gets used to their harness, they're like, yes, I know what this is.
Yep. He just looks totally comfortable. He like kind of just shakes like a little bit once he's in it to kind of like adjust it right. And yeah, he just sits contently on your shoulder looking a little bit extra badass.
You're so cute. Squishy. And then yeah, I'll run out, turn back around, go back upstairs into my room, find like the darkest thing that I can possibly find to wear, as I feel like we're breaking in and I want to be spooky, but it's just like a slightly darker like blue jacket. It's still very bright.
Honestly, I was almost expecting you to say something that's like dark, but then when it goes under, when it's in the dark, it'll like turn to be like glow in the dark or something.
Well, yeah, I think it's probably has like little like constellations and planets and stuff, but it's like very dark blue. But yeah, it is fully gonna light up in any sort of black light. It's all the like decorations on it. And then I'll run out. I think we had established last time that my grandma is really into like bingo and like all the old biddy activities, so maybe she's busy doing that. If not, I'm just like, goodbye. Just keep going. No explanation.
Okay. Yeah, you run by, you kind of just hear her like exclaim something because she probably just like they probably called B3 and she had B4 and B2 but not B3. Ugh.
Yeah.
And then she'll be like, bye, as you're already like basically kind of like slamming the door behind you, like, bye. um and yeah, so all of you are meeting back up at the hideout.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So all equipped and ready to go. You start your walk, probably being led by Buck because, like I said, Buck will remember a specific time when when Chet, I believe we called him, like the time that he got dared to go down there. So he probably knows of the area, at least if he doesn't know the exact location. And it kind of
Like
leads you to
team-
like, huh?
It's probably like a team hazing thing. Like,
I mean, they're gonna switch it up a little bit so nobody can get too used to what's gonna come next, you know? Like, if you're just like, oh yeah, all of us had to go in the creepy tunnel, it's not as fun if, like, one of you had to go in the creepy tunnel, one of you had to try to, like, go put your hand in the lake that, like, is it water? Is it chemical waste? We don't know. Like,
it glows, it's
We'll find out.
So you approach, you're basically in a kind of almost like a wide open field sort of thing. You can see the loop in the distance. It's not like super far away, but like far away enough that nobody is gonna sit there and like be able to see you and be like, hey, what are you kids doing? So it, you know, it's not being manned or anything like that. They're under the impression that nobody will be able to figure out their deep dark secret of having exterior tunnels into the place. So you go up to it and it's kind of like a grate. So you kind of just have to like pull the grate up off of the opening. So if somebody wants to roll me a body force to see if you can.
Yeah, I feel like we all just look at Buck instinctively.
Let me grab this literal handful of dice and see what I can do.
This is gonna be embarrassing for you if you don't get any successes.
It's 9 dice, to be fair, but that's still the thing is rolling more d6s doesn't increase your chance of rolling a die. It just means that you have more instances of the chance. Okay, it's always still a 1 in 6 shot, just multiple. I got 1 success, so
okay. Sure, yeah, you you know, your friends look at you and you do not disappoint. You pick the grate up, you kind of take a second to kind of like do that like sumo stance to get a good grip on it.
Oh,
and you
whoa,
just
whoa.
I'm
How
sorry,
dare
I'm
you? I
sorry.
don't sumo lift. That is the most insulting thing I've ever heard said to me personally. I deadlift him.
Okay, I'm very sorry. Yeah, no, I don't have a good body force roll, just like personally as a human being. So yeah, I don't know the proper way to lift up a grate. So yeah, you
The way I
just
do it with
deadlift
on
it.
my back, so.
There's the
So-
difference of like leg distance. Sumo squats is basically
Mhm.
you're doing a split, so it's considered more tempo. Fun fact for everyone in the audience.
Okay,
'Cause you aren't doing as
The
much.
more you know.
Yeah.
so you very
Learning and
impressively
growing.
you very impressively lift up the deadlift this. I don't know, how much would a grate be? It's something impressive. You can brag about it to your friends later. I don't know the exact weight of what
For a
like
15-year-old, I'd say anything upward of 100 would.
Yeah.
But like
100 pounds.
100 pounds would be a lot for a grate, but you know.
I mean, they're
Solid
it's
metal.
definitely like solid because they're kind of hoping that like people just think it's a manhole cover but like a little
Yeah.
bit more armored than that kind of thing. So
But
it's thicker than like your regular.
It's thick, yeah, but I don't imagine it's like heavy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Still 15.
either way, you successfully do it. You kind of like, do you kind of toss it off to the side, or are you kind of like propping it up against so you can replace
yeah.
it when you?
I lift it up and then like wheel it just a little bit away so that's sitting at an odd angle so we can still, get back. And then anyone could just theoretically slide it rather than having to lift again.
Okay. So then I'm guessing that means you would be going in last, so you can make sure you can be the one to pull it back over too, or? Do you want to go?
I don't intend to pull back over yet. I'm just saying in case he's thinking in case there's a monster, we can quickly
Gotcha. Okay.
light it.
Okay. So protecting yourself if something were to try to come back out at you.
Yeah, I'm not
Gotcha.
trusting a wooden stick to hold this thing open or anything. Yeah.
In case there is a badger down
Yeah.
Yeah, badgers are just scary, man. I don't know.
there.
Um,
A real problem in the desert.
yeah. So, so you all, do you all want to do anything before you go down into this tunnel that you've heard rumors about? And like, do you want to prep anyway, or just?
Joe's gonna look at Crystal with her dark coat and kind of instinctively get where she's going, and she's gonna say, "Hold on, Squirt." She pulls out her black lipstick and gives her a swipe under each eye. There you go.
Yes. In. I feel so cool. I can't even see myself. I'm like, yeah.
War paint.
You know,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, honestly, I think the next time if I have you guys roll sneak anytime soon with like in the tunnels or something like that, I'll have that count as a +1 just because she looks so pumped with that.
The urge. I don't want to wash it off, but the urge, because there is black lipstick within reach of me currently to do it, but I will hate myself later. I do, while all this is happening and no one's super paying attention to me, pull out my black light and very secretively shine it on like the back of Isabella's arm to see if she glows. Completely unfounded fact that she now believes that aliens glow.
Isabella, are you wearing anything that is white or any other color that like if you go to a bowling alley, you know it's gonna like illuminate?
Isabella did not change her clothes from school.
So you're wearing ivory still.
I'm wearing ivory and beige.
Okay. So her shirt gives off like a slight glow, like it's not as cool as like when you're wearing like a fresh, crisp, like white t-shirt to the bowling alley. But it's like that kind of like very slightly, but you know, as soon as you move it to actually be on like her hand where she's not wearing like, you know, her like cloth isn't covering it, you know, you just see the reflection of the blue light. So
but what you do see is what there is something that does light up in the black light. Like on like her forearm, and like what she used is because you can't see it, is you know those light up necklaces, like the liquid on the inside. It just says I heart J with a plus in the middle of the heart, and that's what you see under the black light.
This is a stick that I don't think I'd bring it to Joe's attention. I'm just like, cute.
okay.
But that's it. Otherwise, I'm ready.
All right. Going in, any specific order? Anyone doing anything to prepare, or just going right in?
Not until I'm down there. I'm not put on roller skates to go down a ladder.
That's fair.
Oh,
I am
hey,
sneaky
Crystal.
if you want me to go first so I can just look at things without them noticing me. But yes.
And she pulls out, and there's a couple of like little like clinks, and it's just this little collar for Nicodemus. I don't think it works yet, but
Okay.
We
And
gotta
I
get
pull out
used.
the exoskeleton that's dog-sized. I also have something too. I found this in my
Joe,
brother's room. I don't know what it is. And then Nicodemus like crawls out of my bag and you see his.
it's armored.
Hey,
Exoskeleton.
we can experiment.
Well, this
Nicodemus,
is
do you
going
want to wear
on,
this?
Well, this is going on. Joe plugs her guitar cable into Kit, sort of wraps it around on his arms a couple times, and lowers him down with the headlight on.
There we go, even better.
And because Joe hardwired a speak and spell into it, it can rudimentarily talk.
Okay. All right. So yeah, you drop Kit down, and you don't see anything in the immediate vicinity of where you drop it. So everything that's illuminated by Kit's eyes is all clear. All of you can go down safely. All right.
Joe will definitely go down before Belle and Crystal do, but if Buck wants to take the lead, Joe.
I'm going first.
All right. So then that makes it Buck, Joe, and then between Isabel and Crystal, who's going third and who's going
I
fourth.
just nudge Isabel to go, just keeping her close to Joe.
Oh, almost fell down.
Then it's me, and then the last thing the camera sees is just Nicodemus on my head, just lowering through.
All right. So you all climb down the ladder. You're all no, there's no issues. You know, it's not really like a dank like sewerage tunnel. It's kind of just like, you know, it's basically kind of just like the circular tunnel. It almost looks like maybe you'd expect there to be like things being carted to and from kind of thing. So it's just, you know, there's not like tracks or anything on the ground. It's kind of just so they can push stuff around. Maybe to, you know, like maybe they'll have some kind of pickup like right outside of the loop so no one can see if something's getting teleported out. You don't really know, but so you start walking down, and how about everyone rolls me a body sneak? And Taylor, I'll give you the +1 because you just seem so pumped for.
I'm so pumped.
I feel like you're just like extra like
Crystal's life. There is a skip to her step that's probably making her less sneaky, but you know.
3
Alright.
successes. 3.
4 successes.
No
Jeez.
successes.
I got one.
Okay. So how this is going to go is Buck's in the lead. Crystal is in the back. So the two extremities are so sneaky. You know, Joe is in the middle and still keeping quiet. And there's probably a moment, Isabel, where like you kind of just like trip over something, and just for a second, like your bag with all of your books and stuff kind of like clatters around a bit. And it seems really loud because it echoes in the tunnel, and you all kind of just wait with bated breath. And
She grabs a hold of Joe's arm to kind of steady herself.
Joe
nothing
says,
approaches.
basketball gives you one of those little nudge.
Oh.
nudge hugs.
Nothing approaches. You don't hear anything coming. So, do you all continue on? Okay. Yeah, so you keep going down this tunnel, and after a while you'll see that it's a little bit more of an intricate tunnel work than you kind of expected. But a lot of it is like it'll branch off and then have like a locked door over here, or like, you know, kind of how you imagine every like video game where there's like that gated random like grate that has a door that locks and you can see through to the other side. It doesn't look like anything, like it doesn't look like you've reached the loop just yet. Like you kind of have a general idea from like where you were looking. So you kind of just walk past them. You're not really thinking anything of it after you've checked a few and seen that they're not really leading anywhere specific or like making you have to choose which way you go, because a lot of them are locked. And then you walk a little bit further, and you like, let's see, how about all of you just roll me 1d6. I want to see.
Trouble enough getting 6s with multiple d6s.
3,
I
5,
got a 3.
3.
I rolled a 6.
Okay. So, Isabel, you have this moment where, you know, like I said, kind of all of you have kind of looked down the tunnels and seen a lot of them are just kind of locked corridors and stuff like that. And then you suddenly look down one of them, just, you know, like your eye just kind of catches something. And you do see a like miniature, like almost a Godzilla, basically. Just like a mini Godzilla, probably a little bit smaller than Crystal. Just like sleeping.
Joe, head.
If you're gonna start talking, there is a sleeping Godzilla right next to you. I'm gonna have to make you roll something.
Joe goes.
She's still like stammering.
Okay.
I'm
Okay.
not sneaky.
So
She
if
would just
you,
start
yeah,
stammering.
so what I'm gonna have you do again is I'm gonna have you roll another body sneak. If you think, well, yeah, let's do a body sneak still, just to keep you undercover.
But Joe is gonna tap Buck on the shoulder, and then if he looks over, just point towards the Godzilla.
Mm-hmm. Isabel,
My
any
eyes
successes?
are so big.
No successes?
I got 2.
Okay. So if you want, I haven't really been using, I keep kind of forgetting to utilize this, but there is a way that if you would like, you can use a luck point to re-roll a failed dice. So it basically, like, everything, you'd basically just re-roll it again, if you want to spend a luck. If you don't, that's okay. It just means that you are going to awake a mini Godzilla.
I only have 1 dice in body.
Okay.
So to spend a luck point, chances are not good.
Okay. Okay. So you kind of stammer a little bit, and you're trying to get you're trying to get Joe's attention, and Joe is kind of, try to remind you to be quiet, and you do lower your voice a little bit, but that initial, like, freak out, like, that exasperated first moment, all of a sudden you hear the Godzilla start to stir. What do you do?
I say Kit Earl, which is my stepfather's name, and it moves in between us, and its pinchers start going like this. Go, go, go.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, so Kit kind of goes into defense mode, right? Not like overtly attacking it, but kind of
Not
just trying to,
attacking.
like, keep it backed away, sort of thing.
Kit's only had to nip Earl once or twice before Earl got the message.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, so you Kit is the distraction while I'm assuming all of you are trying to run away.
Yes.
Is
I
that
think
kind of the vibe?
that's Joe's plan.
Okay.
There is a moment where I think it's cute, and then see everyone else getting scared. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, you turn
run.
and Buck is gonna grab your arm and just
Yeah. I'm like, oh, but okay. Just go with.
Okay. Yeah, so you all start kind of picking up the pace a little bit. And, like, the thing is that Kit's pinchers are going to be making a little bit of sound, but it could possibly be misconstrued as, like, dripping of a tube, of a, the caves or something like that. So maybe it won't, if there's anything else, everything will be okay, nothing will wake up. But I'm gonna have you all roll me another body sneak. And I know that I'm sorry, Dido, I know.
Oh no, I love this.
Well,
There's got to be a weakling.
I rolled 6-9, not 1 success.
Got 1.
Okay, so
2
2
successes.
of you have rolled successes. Buck got 2. But that still means that there's 3 successes and 4 people.
Oh, because I'm using Kit, which is my special thing, do I get more dice for that?
You get +2, yes. So you get 2 extra dice to roll. Forgot about that. Okay, all right. So you all, like, have this moment where you're like, go, 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 but you're, like, running in that way where you all of a sudden, like, are just hyper aware of the fact that you need to be very, very quiet. So you start booking it down this tunnel system. Again, like I said, like, most of the things that are branching off, you're kind of just looking past. There probably is a moment or two where you'll get a flash of, like, a little, don't lay down on my book. Cooper just repositioned to be perfectly laying down on my book.
You didn't need this, right?
No, I didn't. It's fine.
Thank you.
But yeah, so you'll see, like, a little flash of a brontosaurus in one of them, but brontosauruses usually aren't, like, meat eaters. They're the herbivores with the long necks, right? Yeah, I got that right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so you'll see one of those. You will also, I'm trying to think of other. I'm blanking on like cool, dinosaurs or like that sort of style thing.
Pterodactyl. A mammoth.
You see, okay, so at the very end, you see a another ladder that is going up, and you assume that that is probably where you have reached the end of your sorry. You have reached the end of your journey in the tunnels. So far, you know that there are things there. You have definitely seen them, you've been aware of them. You don't know what else is behind those locked crates. Maybe it's something that they know they can release if need be, who knows. But you start to get close to the ladder, and all of you probably get a little bit more frantic because you know that you're right there, so you probably think you can just kind of let your inhibitions down. And yeah, at the tunnel that's branching off closest to the ladder is going to be a woolly mammoth. And again, not big. This is all like stuff that this guy thinks is like really cute, and he just wants to make like a pet size version of it. But that still means it's probably the size of like a Great Dane.
Yeah.
Great, like a big, like a, you know, still girth wise, but like height wise, probably the height of a Great Dane on all fours.
Like that dog from Bugs Bunny with the girl liquor around its neck.
Exactly. So as you're all running and kind of like getting to that point where you're like, oh my god, we're almost there. Thank God, this is like, we've reached our point. The woolly mammoth kind of wakes up and like shakes its head, and its tusks, you know, like are protruding from its face. So you know you need to be careful maneuvering around this thing before you go up the tunnel. Does anyone have anything they want to do to just distract it so it won't be an issue anymore? Does Kit follow you, actually, Joe?
What Kit would usually do in an Earl situation is wait a few minutes and then follow. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so Kit's probably still, like, maybe gotten to the point where it's done pinching, but, like, still catching up kind of thing.
Yeah. And it's gonna
So,
start after.
I do take like Nicodemus off my shoulder and just put him in my hands and put him towards the woolly mammoth. I'm like, teleport their friend. Just hoping they're gonna have some weird loop tech animal talking ability.
Buck is going to reach back to his own bag and open like the side pocket and grab a handful of the crossballs, toss them up in the air, get the cross stick on one of them, but let the others just kind of bounce around the room, and we'll just kind of like try and chuck a ball to bounce around this thing's enclosure to hopefully provide some sensory overload. Because it's the size of a Doberman. Why wouldn't it be like a dog?
Yeah. For a second, I thought you were gonna bribe it with casserole.
Yeah.
He probably
that
also
works
just
too.
reeks of casserole. If that's going to be like the secondary thing he could unconsciously do, smell like casserole. I'm not sure it's a skill I have written down, but
Well, I mean, that's kind of what I was thinking Isabel would do, is that she's been trying to make Miss Cromwell feel good by thinking that she can eat all of this food that she's been making for her, so she's been stuffing it in her bag. And she doesn't know what this cybernetic thing does, so she doesn't want to just put Chip on display, but she does reach in, and in her chip bag, where she does keep some of the casseroles, like reaches in and grabs like a handful of like this like lasagna, but it's got like broccoli and cheese, and just hurls it at this woolly mammoth.
Secret veggies. Okay. So this is what's gonna happen. A ball is being thrown in the area, as well as food being thrown in the area, as well as Kit coming down the hallway. So there's a lot of moving parts right now. So I think, we're gonna have that moment of Kit trying to come down the hallway, but food was being brought out of a bag, so that is gonna make it a lot more aromatic because it's out in the elements now. So as Kit is moving down the hallway, you also hear kind of like heavy-footed animal following close behind, because it caught a whiff of the smell and also got awoken basically by this little robot kind of like whirring past to come back to meet up with you all. The woolly mammoth is first gonna like almost sit down like on its back to, like kind of how a dog does, and all of a sudden is just like eyes pinging around the room where the lacrosse ball went, and then all of a sudden it's just gonna like look down because a piece of food has been thrown at it. So it is happily distracted because it has a ball, it has food. It like that's probably the best it's been taken care of in a while, because like I said, like they probably throw food down for it, but like lasagna and a ball, like they don't go above and beyond. But as Kit is getting closer, you realize that the Brontosaurus has started following. So, unless all of you want to get, body slammed by a Brontosaurus because it wants the veggies that are the secret veggies that are in the casserole, you might want to start climbing the ladder.
Body Slam by Brontosaurus is my least favorite Magic Tree House book. Yeah, let's get out of here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Joe will physically pick up Crystal better on the ladder.
Okay.
As I'm just have my eyes closed, holding Nicodemus, hoping that he can talk to the animals. I'm like,
so I will say that you do not hear Nicodemus talk during that time, but again, a lot of things were happening. So I'll probably have
I assume it's like animal
later
telepathy.
on, but...
You know how you like walk in a room and like the cat and the dog are just staring at each other and you're like, what are you saying?
So yeah, so they probably had a tiny little moment of like maybe they understood each other, maybe they didn't, we don't know, but then Ball and Food and Brontosaurus and Kit, and then you're just picked up and you're put on a ladder and you just start climbing. And I'm assuming everyone else is following after her.
Yeah, Joe
Okay.
will kneel down and Kit will transform into the backpack version and just clamp onto my shoulders.
Sure.
Climb up the ladder.
So
After Isabel.
Okay. And then Buck, would you be going last then, or is that where in the order are you? One, two, three, or 2, 3, or 4? Or 2 or 4, because
4.
Okay. All right. So I'm gonna be nice because Crystal was the one that went up first. It's not gonna be a heavy thing that you have to pick up. It's gonna be one of those like cool sliding doors that you see in a sci-fi movie, and it's gonna like sense motion and like whoop, and open up. So Crystal, you can clamber on up. Joe, you said you're behind Isabel?
Yes.
Okay, so Isabel, you get safely up. Joe too, and there's just that one like scary moment of the Brontosaurus didn't really think about slowing down. So you basically have that moment of like as Buck is like pulling his feet up over the edge, you kind of see the Brontosaurus kind of just like accidentally bump into the wall, and if Buck hadn't been, fast enough, he probably would have gotten body slammed by a Brontosaurus.
Would have been a story to tell, though.
Yeah.
I mean, who can say that they've been body slammed by a Brontosaurus?
Not Buck.
Yeah.
Stop trying to sell me on this.
Why didn't you get body slammed by the Brontosaurus? I gotta know.
No.
Okay,
Like my
so
bones.
Now Buck can say he triple deked a Brontosaurus, though, and that's even cooler.
There you go.
Okay, so you have all successfully survived the the perils of the tunnel that no one has really explained a lot about, so it sounded probably spookier than it actually was. But, still
Spooky.
Yeah, still had to make sure you ran past a few things, and like I said, you might not have seen everything that was there considering how many tunnels branched out, so you might have gotten lucky with all your sneak rolls. But all of you have successfully broken into just kind of looks like a random just utility room that's, it looks like a bunch of people kind of like it used to be like someone's office or something, and then after a while people kind of just like, well, this is the room that has the trap door. I don't want the office that has the trap door in it. Then everyone has to come into my office to go down the trap door. That's stupid. So it kind of just got turned into like this utility, like all the spare, there's like 5 chairs from like different offices when people got a new chair, and miscellaneous office supplies and all that sort of stuff. So, it of all the things you've heard about the loop, this is probably the least exciting. But we're gonna save the rest of the excitement for when we get back from break. So, Hoop, if you are there and you want to take us away, we'll be right back for part 2 of maneuvering the loop. All right, I almost forgot that I had to say hello again. So, hi everybody. I'm in charge. That's bizarre. So right before break, we had a not really as suspenseful as I thought it was going to be, because everyone rolled really, really well on their sneak rolls, or compensated for the people that were not able to be as sneaky. So all of the animals kind of just didn't really know you were there. They were just chilling. So they made it through this entire cave system of various kind of like, basically, like I said, like the guy from Spy Kids 2 that just decided that he wanted to make like these crazy things, like just a tiny little, I was gonna say a tiny little Reptar, and then I realized that was Rugrats, and that's like the 90s. So that's why my brain just drew a blank.
I think Godzilla
But
had his
anyway.
own cartoon in the 80s, though.
What?
There you
I
go.
think Godzilla had his own cartoon in the 80s because there was
Well,
a cute little baby one.
oh,
You mean
good. Okay, good.
Yeah, Godzuki, 1978. What?
But anyway, so we now find our our lunch crew in a kind of just a abandoned office of sorts. Like I said, it's in the room with the trapdoor that leads to the tunnel system, so nobody really wanted it when they had other options. So right now you're just in what looks like a totally regular just overflow room. What do y'all want to do?
Are there any like uniforms or keys or anything hanging up around, like key cards?
Let's have you roll for that. Roll me a mind investigate if you want to try to see if there's anything helpful in this room.
That's only 3. Joe could not see past her hair. That's 3 failures.
Unless she's shooting baskets, then all of a sudden she's
Yeah.
a superstar. So you didn't get any successes?
No, 0.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, you look around, you kind of just like, there's a wet mop. Someone probably just tossed it in here recently, you know? Maybe you could find like a janitor's jumpsuit, but it doesn't have any like markings on it. It doesn't like innately look like, oh, you work for the loop because you're wearing this. It's just like looks like
Basic
you know.
coverall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So nothing.
Oh man, this would be the perfect time though to do like 3 kids in a trench coat.
It's
But I
not
feel
that.
like it's me and like Chip and Nicodemus.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah, that would be perfect. But then does that mean that Chip or Nicodemus would be the one with their head poking out? Because I'm assuming you wouldn't put yourselves on top
Nicodemus
of
for
them.
sure.
Okay,
Yeah.
so Nicodemus is going to do the talking. Perfect. So all of you are now being led through the loop by a rat that has its head sticking out of a trench coat. What do you want to do? Kidding.
I mean, I feel like that's the least weird thing that's going to be seen in this place.
I mean, we'll see.
They toss mutant animals in the overflow room.
No, that's the tunnel
we'll
system.
pull out
They
the
just
map.
Okay. So you have the map, and I'm gonna have you kind of to look at the map and see if you can understand. Like I said, it's probably like the upper floors. It's not gonna be as helpful for like the top secret stuff. But I'm gonna have you roll either a mind comprehend or maybe if you want to do a heart lead check, whichever one would be better for you.
I will do mind comprehend. It's better by 1.
All right.
1, 2, 3, 4. I can math, right? Is that
Actually,
that's 4.
because you're using an item, I'll give you an extra die as well because you're using something that will assist you.
Didn't help, but 1 success.
Okay. So you're looking at the map and like you also have the pamphlet. So the pamphlet on the back is gonna say a room number. I it probably has just like, you know, it's the Aldrin auditorium, let's say. Okay. I just thought of that right now, so it's not really creative, but it's the Aldrin Auditorium, is where it says that all of the activities for the space camp are going to start off. And when you're looking at the map, you like don't see it exactly, but you do see a staircase that says that like it leads down to the Aldrin Auditorium. So you can kind of piece together using that like where it would be in like kind of in conjunction to where you are. Also, if is anyone gonna maybe like does anyone want to see if they can figure out what room you're in right now?
I mean, I'll take a look at the map, try and figure it out.
Okay. Well here, I'll have you. You're good at heart lead, aren't you?
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead. And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure if you are successful with lead, I believe you can actually also give pluses as well because you're like being the voice of reason and
Um, Art leads the ability to make others work well together and to help them when they're scared, sad, or confused.
Okay. So no one has any conditions on them, but yeah, go ahead and kind of like well, so Crystal's able to like look at the map and kind of make a general idea of like, okay, this is where we need to go, but like help her kind of figure out like where you're starting from to like know, okay, you're going down this hallway and then that hallway and you're all still doing this
Yeah.
in like in the room, correct? Okay.
I got 1 success on 7 dice.
Okay. That's still something. So yeah, so you are able to kind of piece together like you know kind of just remembering whatever you might have learned of just directionality of like, okay, we came at it from this angle. So if like this, we know we came in the side on the right. So like it would mean that this is kind of the front. So we're kind of like going basically across to the left, kind of thing. So yeah, you're able to look at the map and kind of figure out like what the game plan is for when you leave. And then does anyone else want to do anything before you leave the room? Or we're just gonna go follow. Like I said, Buck rolled a success and also Crystal rolled a success. So between the two of them, they can probably maneuver well. So if everyone's all good,
Yeah. I think
someone wanna
follow
peek their
through.
head out?
I can. I'm sneaky.
Okay, yeah,
Me
go
and
ahead.
Nicodemus. Is he helpful
1,
in
2,
the
3.
situation? Yeah, I am using an iconic item. Like, is he helpful? Would he pull my hair if someone's in the way?
You get a ratatouille you?
Yeah, could you ratatouille me?
This is literally what happened the first time we met Nicodemus too. So yes.
Yeah.
I'll allow it. Nicodemus is
Cool.
smart.
Not a single success out of 7 dice.
Okay.
So
Okay. So you peek your head out.
how does luck work? Hold
And-
on, I'm super lucky because I'm a baby.
Yeah, so I think let me double check. I think you can spend a luck to be able to re-roll failed dice. So you'd basically be able to re-roll all 7 of them.
Okay. Because I literally have all 5 luck because I am the youngest
Sure.
that
yeah.
I could possibly be. So I'm gonna use one. Just so we don't get caught by the adults immediately, maybe. Okay, got 1 success and a lot of ones. Still a little scary.
I have to decide if this is the moment where I use the villain point, because I was just reminded that we have that.
Oh no! Reminded. Blair.
No, it was
No, it was.
So, okay.
That's fine. I'll take it now.
So
Please, no.
I think I'm gonna save it because I have some more fun things later on that I think it'll be better for. But so you got one success. And I have successfully added a little bit of fear to your hearts and souls. But you peek out, Nicodemus is kind of like on your shoulder, and he's like peeking out at like a little bit of a different level than you, so you have that little effect of like the two of you. And you kind of look both ways, and you kind of like you see someone turning around, like turning the corner, walking away from you. So like luckily you waited a few seconds before you opened the door, because it was definitely close, but you see that you're in the clear, like you're looking down both ways. Also the door, like, because you're peeking out as well, you actually see the name of the room. It's just like digits, so it's just like 231. So like if you look at your map, it might kind of help you also just make sure you're totally whatever. But like I said, you both rolled successes, so that's why I was asking if anyone like peeked their head out or something. But
yeah. Also, I think being here and seeing scary things and realizing that she has nothing but a rat to protect her who did absolutely nothing, she is going to take that mop.
Okay.
That was recently put here, so I'm assuming maybe still a little wet, but also would debonk someone. But
Are you gonna take the head off and put it on Nicodemus's head so it just looks like hair as it pops out of the trench coat?
That's so cute. But no, I want to try and like preserve the wetness. I'm gonna use this to make floor very slippery at some point in time.
Well, getting slapped in the face with a gross wet mop would really.
I was gonna say that could ruin someone's day.
Someone. Throw them off their game, put them on the back foot,
So as I said, the hallway is completely clear, so you all file out, and you start kind of walking in the direction that, the way that Buck would have explained it will be like, okay, you take a right here, and then like probably down the hallway you take a left, and like if there's any wrong turns along the way, Buck will probably like whisper like to the left, to the right. So you're all being sneaky and walking down the hallway, I'm assuming, unless anyone wants to make noise or cause a ruckus, but cool. So yeah, you're sneaking down the hallway. It seems like if you do see anybody, it's usually like one of those like really big like open glass like looking into a lab basically, so like being able to like see what they're doing in there. You see someone with like their nose to like working on one of their experiments. They're really close trying to work on wiring, or they're trying to like read a book. So a lot of people aren't noticing you. You're being very stealthy. And after a certain point, you actually start seeing flyers for the space camp. It's like this really cheesy like animation of like an astronaut dude like waving to be like, welcome. So it'll literally point you in the right direction too. So eventually, like I said, you'll find your way to Aldrin Auditorium, just by way of these like little cheesy like welcome to space camp, because it was a big deal. It was their, like I said, their first time trying to show off their space simulator. So they were really excited, and they also didn't want anyone potentially getting lost and getting into a lab that they weren't supposed to get into. So you follow the signs and eventually find your way to Aldrin Auditorium. And you walk in. It's a regular auditorium. It doesn't look like it still kind of has the projector set up for when they had like a presentation, probably to welcome everybody to the event. But in the exact vicinity, you don't really see anything, but you do see a sign again pointing in another direction to be like, space camp this way. So basically you're assuming they probably had like a welcome, like meet an astronaut kind of thing, and then filter everybody into the next room. So you follow the flyer into the next room, and the next room opens up into this big, like it almost looks like a concrete bunker sort of thing. It doesn't really look really exciting and appealing. Like, it doesn't look like they tried to make it look all spacey, but they have a lot of cool things. They have, like I said, that chair thing that like makes you go in different directions to prepare you for your body being flung around in which way. You see this really big tube that like has kind of it's like basically one of those like fake skydiving things that kind of makes it so that you can like get used to different kinds of pressure. And like it has all the setup of a space camp, but the one thing that really draws your eye is this one kind of like, it almost just looks like a room within a room. Like it's a really big room with a high ceiling, and then there's almost like a hut inside that room. And it has caution tape around it. And kind of to the right of the door leading into that room is a bunch of like various sized spacesuits. So, you know, like it was a kid space camp, so there's going to be kid sizes, there's going to be adult sizes for the chaperones. But yeah, so your eyes get drawn to this caution taped off area.
All right. I unpack Kit and send him in there.
You send them into the door?
Yeah, towards the little roped off area.
Okay. So Kit will kind of go towards the roped off area, and it's like one of those kind of like automatic sliding doors, and there's a little panel kind of to the right of the door. So Kit will kind of go up to the door, but it doesn't automatically open for them. I will say, Isabel, you probably recognize like the panel that's kind of to the right of the door, because your dad just kind of tinkers with stuff sometimes, and you probably like remember him just like randomly tinkering at the kitchen table, because like this isn't really like a top secret thing, it's a key to a door, you know? So you probably just like seen him kind of tinkering with it at home, getting it right, because he's gonna work on it wherever he is.
Oh yeah, hey, if my dad's key card doesn't work, he taught me how to fix these things.
Okay. So you go up to the keypad, and you kind of like, it does have a place to kind of insert your card. It's like almost kind of like like you see on like a gas pump where you like insert the card and then you kind of take it out really fast. Do you want to try to put your dad's card in there?
Yeah, I have a feeling this is going to be like an Among Us kind of thing where you have to do it at the right speed or it's never going to work. But yes.
Okay, yeah, so here, why don't I have you roll a tech calculate, because I feel like it. I haven't had anyone roll this yet.
Right.
Calculate.
Is there a spacesuit within reach of us?
Yes.
Like it was just, I'm switching out the trench coat for just the body of a spacesuit.
Okay. So I will say that the area that you're about to walk into, because it's caution taped, you kind of get that vibe of like, if there are missing people, it's in my head, I'm thinking like they didn't know what happened and why, you know, people are not there. So they kind of just caution taped off an area, and they were like, that's good enough. You know, like they're not going to be helpful and try to look for the person. They're just going to be like, hey, don't
Problem
go
solved.
here.
Mhm.
So you probably do think the fact that the spacesuits are to the side of it is probably important.
Wait, like the spacesuits are in the roped off or not in the roped off?
They're literally like I said, it's basically like a concrete like cube room kind of thing in like a bigger room, so it's like on the wall that the door is on. So it's
gotcha,
like
gotcha,
right,
gotcha,
it's basically like right next to it, like, hey, remember your like your coat and your hat when you're leaving for work kind of thing.
gotcha.
So-
Yeah, it's a time traveling alien. and
How
it's
how
big
many
around the
are there,
inside.
like empty? Yeah, are there like empty hooks that are like, you know, it seems, or spots that it looks like there should be more spacesuits that there
Yes.
aren't?
Yes. So there are 5 spacesuits that, like 5 hooks that are empty. But there are, plenty to, they weren't sure how many kids were gonna sign up for the program, so they made sure to be over-prepared kinda thing. So,
Do they have one big enough for someone who's almost entirely made up of legs and arms? Like Joe.
Oh, I was like, what kind of, what? The way you described it, I was like imagining a monster that just had like multiple of all of those things. Yeah, no, like you're saying, like gangly kind of. Yeah. No, you'll be able to find something that fits you. They tried, like, that's one thing they did like think ahead of time of like, hey, we can't kill these children by, like putting them into a space simulation and not giving them the things they need for the space simulation. That's one thing they thought through.
But if they go missing and die, meh.
Yeah. The insurance will cover it.
Listen, there were other things that were important. There's always an emergency at a place like the Loop. Like, that wasn't the top priority, okay?
Yeah.
And also, there was like I said, there was a chaperone with them, so like, they probably know what they're doing, right?
Legally out of their hands.
Yeah. So Isabel, what did you roll to for the
I got 2 successes.
Perfect. So yeah, you slide the key in. Luckily, it's not one of the ones that got deactivated, because they probably deactivated a few of your dad's cards along the way to be like, okay, you have like 6 of these out. We need to like not risk it if there's one just like out in the street somewhere. So the key that you had not only was one of the ones that wasn't deactivated, but you like put it in at the right speed. It didn't try to like give you an error message each time. And the door is like one of those ones that like, it's still one of those like mechanical sliding doors, but it has like that almost like frosted glass in the middle, and you see lights kind of like turn on behind the frosted glass. So you know that what you've done has worked. But you do also see that Crystal has put on a spacesuit.
Yeah, that's probably not a bad idea.
Yeah, Joe's already halfway into one.
Okay.
I just thought they looked cool. I did not think about the practicality of probably needing one.
I had to figure out a way to make sure you guys put on the spacesuits. So
But we'll grudgingly get into one as well.
We can still see your backwards baseball cap when you put
very important, yeah.
the cap on. Don't worry.
Isabel wants to check everybody's like gauges and stuff to make sure that there's like, we're not going to run out of oxygen as soon as we walk in.
Yeah, so everything, like I said, they basically over-prepared, thinking like they don't know how many kids are going to sign up for their like first time ever launching a space camp program. Everything, like, from what you can tell, is on E, or not E, like on full, like the opposite of E. The green. It's in green, not red. It's like very
F for Fumbo.
/E.
Everything looks like it's full, and like I'm not gonna make you roll for it because it's literally just like a little dial of like, this is full, this is empty. So yeah, everything looks good. You're kind of like all helping each other put stuff on and everything, I'm assuming, or if you're just putting it on yourself, that's fine too.
I get one that's just slightly too big so Chip can fit inside.
Okay. Actually, Taylor, can you roll me another mind comprehend really fast? Or if
I'm sure.
Or if heart contact is better, then that works too.
Mind comprehend, literally only a difference by 1, so but I will do that one. Wow, 2 successes.
All right. So, you know your brother well enough. He like messes around with tech that kind of like is almost like cybernetic for animals. It's like, it's a little like weird, but you've kind of like seen a little bit of it here and there. Like I said, like, that Nicodemus has kind of just like been in your brother's room before. He literally has he literally has like little harnesses. You think that your brother was making it so that like it was basically preparing your dog for any kind of like conditions, like weather conditions, if you needed to be like in a bunker because there was a war or something, like basically just like preparing. So like there is no way that this dog can like, or this rat can not be protected in like different elements. He wanted Nicodemus to basically be like immortal. So you know that the exoskeletons that are on both Chip and Nicodemus would prepare them in a situation like this. So that's why I figured, you know, in case one of you didn't think to put it in your spacesuit, like put your animal in your spacesuit, it would still be okay, because I want to make sure you guys have the motion, like, because they're your iconic items. So
yeah.
Then
I think
okay
with
no
that I will take off the helmet and I'll be like, "You're probably good, right?" And he's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Okay." And then put the helmet back on, and he'll just. We're gonna say there's a little pocket on my spacesuit.
Yeah.
Sitting in it.
Yeah, of course.
And I will relay that info to Isabella for Chip.
Perfect. Yeah, so if you want Chip to be able to like be out and run around, he can do so. You don't have to worry about him just being in your suit.
We'll do
They
that.
can ride on Kit if they want. Kit doesn't need air.
Yeah.
Kit's just
Yeah, Chip,
ready to go.
Chip rides on Kit.
Okay. So like I said, the door has successfully been turned on. From what you can tell, you saw lights kind of turn on the inside. Is everyone ready to go into the simulation?
Does anyone else's suit smell like a gym sock?
It's just what I smell like.
Space.
So all of you talking to each other right now, you realize that it's over a comm system, because you're all wearing like bubbles over your head. So all of a sudden it's like, why am I hearing that like in like just kind of echoed in my tube?
Yeah.
So
Breaker, this is A1 Apollo sauce.
Apollo sauce?
Yeah. Can confirm, smells like a gym sock.
Wait. Connie? No, there.
Okay, wait. Actually, so for this one, I'm gonna have Isabel roll me a tech tinker or program, whichever one you think is better. Because this is your dad that made these.
Let's go Tink.
Oh, wait. Oh my god. I got Connie mixed up for a second, and I thought you were trying to see if you could talk to one of the animals.
Oh, no.
Oh,
But I will. I can do that too. But no, I was seeing if Connie, since she would be in a suit somewhere, would be on the same comm system.
So right now, while you're outside, you don't get any response from Connie.
Okay.
But also roll just so we can figure out if the prototypes of the collars actually work. I'm curious.
Yeah, I'll then look at Nicodemus. I'll be like, Nicodemus, I don't know. I guess it's not working.
One success?
One success.
Okay. So these collars are definitely more so to kind of help animals talk to each other. So when it comes to actually being able to translate to humans, it's not like all of a sudden your dog is just like, hello, I love you. Like, this is, I appreciate, you know, like, it's whatever. It's like, oh, hey. What? He said, and like, it's kind of just disjointed and like just tiny little phrases, but like not full sentences, but.
Like, yeah, it's registering language.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so are you all ready?
Yeah.
Okay. So, you all approach the door. Like I said, it's one of those kind of sliding ones. So it's motion censored. When one of you gets close enough to kind of activate it, it opens. And the light coming from inside is just almost blinding. And you kind of sit there for a second and try to see if your eyes will adjust, but you're thinking like once you get in there, it'll be better. Kind of like, you know, just that moment of like you're walking, like maybe it was for like kind of a drastic effect. You don't really know, but who wants to go in first? Okay, Isabel. So you walk into this really bright, almost a luminescent light, and you feel for a second almost like you're being like almost like suctioned in a little bit. But you do basically have a moment where like there's a very clear difference in, you know, in pressures. So you kind of walk in, you feel like you're being sucked in a little bit, and then when you're on the other side, it's exactly like all of those movies when you like take your first step and all of a sudden you're accidentally like in the air a little bit more when you like try to take your next step and you have a little less gravity. So,
This
is
is
everyone else
too
going to?
cool. Watch
So
that
none of
first.
you,
That
none of
first
you will
step
be able
is a
to hear her.
doozy.
None of you will be able to hear her, while she's in the because the simulator is, like she's inside the simulator while the rest of you are outside, so communication is harder.
Oh,
If I
so,
see she like didn't blow up into pieces, I am barreling through this door and gonna start jumping around.
Okay. So again,
Yeah.
you feel that kind of feeling of just like walking into a really bright light. You kind of sit there, your eyes adjust a little bit, but then yeah, you're like totally different gravity.
Yeah, Joe's not gonna let her girls go in there without her, so she follows it like almost immediately after Crystal.
Okay.
Kind of leapt outside. Buck's just gonna, dang it, and just rush in.
All right. So all of you are now in this really realistic simulation of the moon. Like I said, they thought of everything. It's the lower gravity. It's you two, like all of you wouldn't be able to hear each other if you weren't on your comms. When Buck walks through, if any of you like turn around, or are all of you just so like excited to be bouncing around?
I think Joe is kind of looking everywhere, like
Okay.
all around.
Yeah, I'm probably looking
Okay.
back as I am having the time of my life and just being like, get your ass in here.
Yeah, so Buck will walk in, and now all of you can talk to each other again. But you will see that the door will kind of like slide closed, and it almost looks like it's just not even there anymore. And you are successfully in the space simulator. Does anyone want to do anything, or should I already just be asking for rolls?
I want to. One, she thinks this is awesome, but also that door just disappeared. She wants to see if she can figure out if she could find it again.
Yeah, like I'm like drawing a little like design in the like moon dirt or something at the foot of wherever this door was supposed to be.
Sure. Yeah. So
I'm gonna use my mop. I don't think I'm gonna need to slippery it.
You
I'm gonna
still
shove
have
it
a
in
mop
like
with
the.
you in.
It's gonna be like
Oh
the
my
U.S.
gosh.
flag, you know, but it's just a
Yeah.
mop in our footsteps.
Sure.
The
So
wet-
you
the wet mop
mark
flag.
you mark where like you remember coming in through the door. Do you still want to roll for it as well, Isabel, or do you think that will like satisfy Isabel's like curiosity?
No, I think that'll be good.
Okay.
It's enough of a landmark.
Sure. Yeah, so there is a mop on the moon. One small step for janitor kind. But so you yeah, you're all on the moon. You have successfully marked where the door will be for when you need to get out later on. And I'm gonna have anybody who wants to can roll a mind investigate to see if now that you're in here and you know that you might be kind of on a rescue mission or just trying to find a missing person. Maybe they got lost and didn't think to have a mop, you know? The silly gooses.
Yeah, I did not get a single success because I think it's finally hitting Crystal, forgot my character's name. That it probably wasn't aliens, they just got lost.
Oh. What was that?
What did you want the role to be?
A mind investigate, just to kind of look around, see if there's any clues or indications of
didn't-
where they might have gone?
Out of 7
No,
dice, I got 0 successes.
In this
I-
gravity, Joe's hair is just floating.
I rolled 3 dice and got 1 success.
Okay.
Savior.
So all of you are just kind of like, so you're still adjusting to the moment of like, there's different gravity. There's, oh my God, we're on the moon. Like Crystal might be having a sad realization of like, oh man, like this is a whole moon. Yeah. Like they might just have gotten lost. And Buck is being the voice of reason to be like, hey, there's a clear trail of footprints because the moon, like I think they still say that like the foot for or like the first footstep of like the moon landing could still potentially be there. So yeah, there's like
Still there,
very
but the
distinct.
flag is all white now, so you know. Hey, nerds! And
What?
everyone turns away. She went that way. And point towards the very obvious footsteps.
So you will see more than one set of footsteps, but yes, Connie, you basically see like 4 probably around your varying sizes of footprints. Like if you think about it, Connie's probably like a year younger than Crystal, but like still just that's why she's so like hyper and just wants to be included in everything, but she's very, very smart. So she, yeah, like you see like probably like similar sizes to all of you, and you do see 1 set of adult footprints as well.
Seeing that, Isabel would go, Dad, can you hear me?
Why don't you roll me, ooh, this is a hard one. Just roll me just a generic heart roll. Just base, no, like, there's not really a good attribute for it, but.
Can I use Chip to kind of like nuzzle my leg and give me comfort in trying to find my dad?
Yeah, you're in a scary place and it'll help for your senses.
No successes.
Okay. So you do get something, but it's just like very jarbled and broken up. Like it's basically when you're like driving through a tunnel and you're trying to talk to someone on the phone and it's just like maybe there's a voice. You don't even really know if you can qualify it as a voice or what, but like you do hear like this kind of like staticky like on off thing for a few seconds after you after you kind of see if you can contact your dad. But
Maybe
so
we
do you
just
all
have to
decide?
get closer.
Maybe they might be out of range.
Yeah, I mean the footsteps go off for a while and you don't really see where they end just yet. So maybe following them.
Joe starts
Thinking.
bouncing in that direction.
Sure.
I'm doing cartwheels now.
So yeah, one thing that's also of note too is you can tell that like the kids definitely were jumping a lot more than the adult footprints. The adult footprints are just like very regularly spaced. Like even with the 0 gravity, like it's still like he probably like floated a little bit and then landed and then floated a little bit and landed. And then like you can tell the kid like tried to propel themselves to see how far they could go. And
Yeah,
There's
Joe's
like a
landing
skid
those-
mark of someone's face, like the helmet.
Joe's landing those long legs, bending at the knees, and then just launching right back off.
yep.
Like
Probably
I
a lot-
breathed down to the
Slender
feet
Man.
on the second jump, and I'm just going for the ride.
Did you say Space Slender Man?
Yeah.
Oh, that's terrifying.
Fun to do.
Not only is he just quiet and lanky, but he also you cannot tell where he's coming from because he could be coming from above.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Slicer, man. Yeah, coming from all angles.
Ugh. But so you start following the footsteps. I'm not gonna make any of you roll because you know they're very clear footprints. The moon, like again, there are people jumping off and pushing back down, even if there's a moment where like they're not really stepping as heavily. Yeah, you're still kind of being able to follow those footprints. And you follow it for a
Isabel.
while. What was that?
Hey, Isabel. Do you
Yeah,
think a
Joe?
werewolf would always be a werewolf on the moon?
I mean,
Ooh.
we could find out after we find everybody.
God, haven't you nerds seen Moonwolf 2? Like,
Is that a book?
Werewolves aren't real, right?
What if they're alien werewolves?
oh, I feel the changes happening.
The legitimate concern on Crystal's face, like, what?
So aliens are good, but werewolves are out.
Yeah,
That's the
werewolves are where
line.
you draw the line. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, good to know. Good to know. I'll cross off the werewolf encounter.
I think last time it was ghosts aren't real, but I guess when she saw the shard, she believes in ghosts now.
Yeah, because you were talking
werewolves are
about
the ones
ghosts.
that are-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. I mean, honestly, if a werewolf is always a ghost or always a werewolf on the moon, then that is kind of terrifying. So I'll give that to you. But yeah.
And then
so
don't they
you-
just become a direwolf because they're not the
They're
werewolf?
not changing. Yeah.
Yeah, they're just
Yeah.
always the wolf. Yeah.
Hmm.
We're just having this conversation
we
while
have-
we
yeah,
go
we have-
wheels
Yeah,
across
you're
the
all-
moon
I
and
mean,
like
it's-
jumping.
It's a little bit of a walk before you see anything. So yeah, you're having like little lighthearted conversations. You're taking in the views of the moon. You can see like some stars around you a lot closer than you're used to, and kind of just like have this breathless moment of just looking at the stars from a totally different perspective. And you start to you're bouncing your way following the footsteps, and you kind of like reach a point where you're kind of like cresting the horizon of the moon enough to be able to see Earth. Like you can see where you would have been, like, you know, they thought of everything in the simulation. Like Isabel's probably so proud of her dad right now, sitting here and seeing all the detail he put into this.
Joe
And
just
so
says,
you're
rad.
Isn't it great?
really cool. So you all get distracted by being able to see the Earth kind of coming over the horizon as you're kind of getting further up. That you don't at first really realize that you're walking towards a like kind of big looking like encampment kind of thing. It looks like it's all kind of like it's kind of like how people draw Atlantis sometimes, where it looks like it's just like in a bubble, or what's where Jar Jar Binks is from, where it's like just
Naboo.
in the bubble.
Yeah.
Well, it's the planet Naboo, but
Naboo.
Gungan City,
it's-
I think they
it's-
call it.
yeah,
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so
it's
kind of-
Oto Gunga.
Odo
Actually,
Gunga, yeah.
well, either way, it's
also known
not
as
called...
Gungan City. You're absolutely correct.
I'm
sorry.
glad you guys all have the imagery still of what I'm talking about. You don't realize it at first, but you do kind of see like lights projecting out and this big dome over like a tiny little city. And that'll be something that like all of you can kind of notice at your own moments, that you're taking in so many things, but like eventually you'll see what you think you're probably walking towards.
People live on the moon.
Guys. Okay, I'm back on the alien thing. Like, yeah, they got lost, but there's no way that like your dad built this unless he's an alien. Like,
That's a
it's
lot.
cool.
I mean, my dad is awesome and he's great at what he does, but I don't think he could build a whole city in a weekend. But
Yeah, but like
he also
Well, okay, so
in
just to
general,
be-
humans can't do this.
And just to be clear, he didn't make this in a weekend. He was here this weekend to show the students that were coming for the space camp. So he could have been programming this for months. He was just, the reason he was away this weekend was for one reason or another. He's still here even though he was supposed to come back.
what if time is different? What if they think they've only been here for like a night?
Well, that
Well-
would make sense because we have the time stopper thing. They would have something here, right?
Oh.
Do one of you have the
Oh.
time stopper just like tucked into your spacesuit?
Isabel doesn't go anywhere without it. It is too fun and
Sure.
too cool.
Cool. Okay.
That's That's how Joe and Isabel like steal like little moments when the group is together.
Yeah.
Adorable.
Like we brush each
So
other's
mad
hair
though
and
because
stuff.
I have
Yeah.
told you guys that there's a limit on that, but I can't say no to like that. That's just adorable.
That's
So
why there's a
Look,
limit now.
yeah,
It would have been lasting a long time,
the
but
fact there's like only 2 charges left, is
I was actually
because
thinking about doing like
these
one of those clock map things of like you get like this many things, but I won't tell you guys how many there are.
yeah,
Because
absolutely.
Isabel would read her
This is
book.
why there's only like 2 uses left because these nerds want to hold hands while everyone else is frozen and not
Well,
kill you.
Isabel would read her book out loud, and Joe would play bass to go along with it, like a spoken word thing.
I mean, someone of Isabel's age would use something this cool frivolous.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
oh, for sure.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Doesn't mean that everyone's going to be happy about it, but for
Yeah.
sure.
I mean, only adults would do awful things with something like that.
Yeah, you just do it to like sneak the ability to like hold hands for a little while with your girlfriend, like. But anyway, so with whatever apparently you all tucked into your various like pockets, or you have just like little lumps on the inside of your spacesuits with things, I don't really know. But you start going towards this dome, and you kind of do see a place that looks like it could be like an opening space to be able to be let in. It kind of looks like it's one of those places where it's gonna have those, like it's a clear bubble, so you can kind of see. I accidentally almost kind of made Sandy's house from SpongeBob in my head a
That's
little
what it
bit, with
is.
like because like there's gonna be that chamber of like where you depressurize and everything like that.
Okay,
instead of
look,
feeling like you're
we
being
haven't
sucked through the-
established Crystal's future, but she's going to be a writer for SpongeBob. That's her interest. She's into writing now. This is-
Let's be honest, that's the most realistic part about SpongeBob.
But yeah, so you walk towards this Gungam City Sandy's treehouse-esque kind of bubble. Although I will say I don't think I think it looks like a bubble more so than like a glass dome kind of thing. But you know, whatever. And yeah, so there's an entrance that you can kind of see closer to you all. But you can also see that it looks like it's a little bit of a bustling city on the inside. Not saying that, you know, there are people, like, there's anything staring at you, but, imagine what, like, somebody in the 80s would think of when they want to make a sci-fi movie. Like, they know that the
Jetsons.
moon landing happened. Well, no. Just to be clear, I made sure there were aliens. I 100% made sure there were aliens here for you. But you have to keep in mind that somebody from the 80s creating this, like, they're gonna think of like the classic movies that like have the aliens with like the really like wide
The
oblong
grays.
heads and the big eyes and like the kind of weirdly distended body, like. But
We were the
there's a
aliens all
little,
along.
there's like a little like village in here, and you can definitely see that there are aliens living in this enclosure.
I just stop in my tracks and I slowly turn and look up at Buck. I told you so.
She did, Buck. Like multiple.
Definitely did.
We've seen it. You see it with your eyes. I see you seeing it. I told you so. And I just run. I'm like barreling towards this depressuring area.
Okay. So I will add one thing that, just to make sure we're all aware of the context of the situation. Kind of closer to the entrance of the door, you do kind of see a little bit of like, kind of like scuffle marks. There is going to be an alien working the decontamination chamber. And it doesn't
Is this where
look
the footprints
like...
lead?
Yes.
Or-
So it looks
Okay.
like the footprints led here, but I will say that the footprints kind of in front of the door don't exactly look like someone just walked over the threshold. you know.
Someone's gonna have to stop Crystal.
So, I figured I should. I didn't realize you were gonna start running towards it, so I figured I should mention that so somebody else can notice it.
If Joe notices that, Joe will try to race down Crystal and stop her. Do you need me to make a roll for that?
Yeah. So if you're gonna literally chase her down, that is probably going to be a body move.
Okay, I think that is literally my best thing.
All right.
Yeah.
Jeez, I didn't
All
even have you
leg,
roll your
remember?
best stat yet. I'm sorry.
I think
I got 2 successes.
Okay. Yeah, so you like not only do you catch up to her in like 2 bounds, because again, she's a lot shorter than you, like she's got little legs and you just kind of like
I'm like 3/4 leg.
bound your way over there and you're able to kind of grab her and pull her back and like point out that like literally you're like giving her all of the information that she needs as you're like pulling her away so she knows what's happening.
I'm like,
But yeah, you
"Squirt,
catch
slow
up to
down.
her
Look at the
before
footprints."
anyone sees her. Sorry, what was that? I'm sorry.
Like, Squirt,
Oh.
slow down. Look at the footprints. They were dragged in.
They were kidnapped. I was still right. This is the best day ever. Not for your dad and Connie, but for me.
Hey, Isabel, do you think your dad didn't make a simulation? He made a teleporter?
maybe. I wouldn't put it past him. I kind of want to call.
right now?
Kind of want to like call out and see if they can hear again, but now I'm afraid that they've confiscated their suits and these aliens.
If you want to try again, you absolutely can. I'll just have you roll another. Did you roll comprehend or contact? I forgot.
You
Same roll
just
as
had me.
last time.
You just had me roll straight heart.
Right. Okay. Go ahead and do that again.
In a rare acknowledgement of Joe's opinion of Buck, Joe will look at Buck and ask, "What do you think we should do?"
Are we gonna fight aliens? She's just bouncing, like she's just jitters.
Yeah, Isabel just
I
goes,
left my mop.
Papa, can you hear me? I got 2 successes.
Okay. So this time the voice that the sounds that you were hearing earlier is more clearly a voice. The thing is, it's not a language that you've ever spoken before. So
It's definitely aliens.
So it's kind of like this garbled, kind of a little bit more high-pitched sound that you probably don't know if you could even produce, kind of thing. Like maybe they have like extra vocal cords or something that like makes sounds that you can't.
Does
Can I
do
look at
these
Nicodemus
suits-
and see if he knows what is being said? Didn't her
You
dad
know-
accidentally program it with alien speak?
Do
I
these suits have
mean-
like a record function, like where I could record that sound and play it back
Yeah.
for Kit? Because
Yeah,
Kit could
definitely.
reproduce that sound.
This is something where they probably like tried to think of like, oh, we should like we should make this cute little moment where all the kids can like have their first reactions in space caught on camera so that their like parents can hear the recording of them being like, wow, cool. So they probably
so-
do have like a
Oh, those
tape
are gonna be
recorder or
horrible
something.
recordings of what
Yeah.
actually happened.
I mean,
So,
I mean, maybe they told them to turn it on as soon as they come in, and it was fine. I don't, we'll
so
find
Joe
out.
will patch into Kit and sort of play that recording into Kit's little robot brain. So that because Kit is essentially a traveling amplifier speaker system. So as long as it's recorded in there, Kit can reproduce those sounds, even though we can't. If Isabel is smart enough to figure out what
So, are
combination those
you-
sounds need to be in.
Are you asking me to be a linguist?
So just for my knowledge, are you trying to like record this so that you could try to use it back,
Yes,
or
if
just
we
kind of like
need to,
understand? Okay.
if we need to be able to make a response at some point, Kit could reproduce
Sure.
those sounds, but we would need to know what order they needed to be played.
Sure. Yeah. Okay, so Isabella, if you want to roll me another tech tinker. Let's see if maybe you can kind of like almost adjust like the collar a little bit, because you said you're working on it with your dad. Let's see if you can kind of like adjust it.
Ooh, 3 successes.
This was not where I was planning for this to go tonight, but yeah. So there's gonna be the thing is that you're gonna come out of the situation knowing that you successfully did what you wanted to do. But you're gonna have to contact them again to be able to actually have. So basically, like, the way it'll work is now Chip has the ability to understand and have it be like translated, but Chip didn't have that ability before. So like either you need to reach out again or wait until there's another moment when there's an alien to kind of have them be able to translate for you.
So I think these collars can translate whatever these aliens are speaking. Should I try and reach out again?
Look at Nicodemus. My prop,
Yeah.
Nicodemus. I'm just like, do you want to talk to them? She looks pissed. Maybe he does. Maybe Chip does.
Nicodemus says no talkie.
He's like, he only wants to talk to you. You know, he's your buddy. So,
and apparently my brother.
I mean, he just knows that your brother is doing cool things for him. That doesn't mean that they're friends, you know?
That's true.
He just knows that he's like giving him souped up like super suits. So
Yeah. I'm
There's
smart
my
enough to use
super
him.
suit.
I think we
Chip, do you want to talk to aliens? I think Chip is fully on board.
he kind of like looks wide-eyed, like, because Chip is a Chihuahua, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
he's kind of like shaking a little bit like Chihuahuas do in like a new situation, and kind of just like, I guess.
Okay. Wow, he can talk. Oh my
I
gosh.
mean, it's still gonna be the disjointed like small syllable thing, so he won't be able, like, he'll probably like be able to be like, if they say really like scientific words, he'll be like, they want to do this. But yeah.
So Isabel would reach out again. Hello? I didn't quite get that last message. Can you please repeat that?
You hear the same garbled voice again. It probably like you can't tell if it sounds like he said the same thing again, or if, like, you know, this is like something different or another alien speaking. But Chip will kind of like take a second where like he kind of tucks his tails between his legs for a second, and then like
Some
after they yeah, you can like scratch him and he'll kind of like relax a little bit. But after they stop talking, Chip will kind of just be like, they don't know who you are, but you sound like others they have.
They have. No, they have them.
Can they give them back?
I'm not Nicodemus be able to or Chip be able to speak alien back to them. I'm sorry. I don't think he can make the same guttural sounds. So you'll kind of get like another sound a few minutes, like after a few seconds of like, wait right there, we're coming after you. Like that
We
sort
need
of
to
thing.
go.
So
They're-
what do you all want to do?
They're
Joe
coming
grabs
after us.
Crystal's pack and starts bounding back towards the door.
I mean, honestly, it
Well,
won't be that
that's
bad because it's 0 gravity, so you're just like, wee.
Crystal probably only weighs like 70 pounds soaking wet anyway, so you know, she's just like, okay, let's go.
Okay, so you're all retreating?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what's the plan? So you can kind of get the sense that your dad and Connie and whatever those other 3 potential child-like footprints are probably inside.
What if we just like bust the glass and hope they're all wearing their spacesuits and just go get them?
No.
Like, it's glass. The aliens obviously need the glass too. Otherwise, they wouldn't be in there.
No. We don't know if they need a glass, and we should probably try to avoid, like, killing people.
Besides, if they're talking to us through comms, then they already have the suits.
Let's just, like, get in there, sneak as much as we can, rescue them, and get out without, like, having to fight aliens.
Yeah, maybe we can what we can do is we can hide, and when they come out to get us, we sneak in.
That
Why
would be really good if y'all hadn't gotten all of the scary animals angry at us because of being bad at sneaking. But I'm willing to try it.
We could just sneak in instead of waiting for them to come out to get us. Because we don't even know if they're going on offense right now. Ball's in their side. We need to go get the ball, which is your dad and also Connie. So we gotta go on the offensive here, people. We gotta, make the play.
Do you want to give me a heart lead roll?
Yeah, I do. I want to give everyone a bonus die if we can.
Kiss my baby.
I've got 1 success.
So, do you actually have the thing for lead up already, or should I pull that up? Because I don't remember the exact.
Heart lead is the ability to make others work well together and to help them when they are scared, sad, or confused.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I feel like that success is enough to convince Joe.
Yeah. Oh no, so I'm basically just trying to figure out if this means that all of you are gonna get like a +1 that you can use.
Lead, if you have time with other kids, so 1 success equals, if you have time with other kids, you may inspire and prepare them for a difficult situation. You roll to overcome trouble, and your success becomes a dice pool. You may, in the upcoming scenes, distribute bonus dice to the other kids. So I have 2 dice to give to people in the upcoming scenes.
That's what I was thinking of. I just couldn't remember the page number for it.
You're good.
So that means that all of you have like 2 floating +1s.
Yes.
Okay. I feel like Buck is like drawing like a game plan in the.
I'm drawing an O line in the on the moon with my finger.
Yeah.
All right, so it's a tight bottleneck, but like we just gotta push through real hard, and then we can fan out, cover a lot of the city, and meet up at some central point. Because aliens always have to have some like central point thing. So. Crystal, you gotta turn on your
central
communicator.
point underneath like a UFO kind of thing, like.
We got a roller skate on the moon. I turned my comms back on.
We get in with the roller skates on, greased up, and zoom around.
This is the best day ever.
Just put the roller skates on, okay?
So you all put on the roller skates that magically fit over the so it's not gonna be like space boots. It's basically gonna be almost like a onesie kind of thing that just like is like a hazmat suit. Like it's not gonna be like hard boot bottoms. So you're probably like all wearing your shoes underneath, so you're just gonna have to slip everything on over that. But yeah, I will let you roller skate on the moon. I
Yeah.
will allow it. So you all also have to keep in mind that means that there is altered gravity as well as basically equivalent of boots of speed, but also if you get enough force, you could potentially go like up a wall. Nobody's
So
tried it, but
we
hint,
can
hint.
wall ride.
Yeah.
maybe
Inside the dome.
we'll see. Well, also
Let's
especially on the
break it
moon.
down.
Then anyway, so you all put on your roller skates. There's a decontamination chamber.
Mhm.
Taylor, are you ready to be Lucia right now?
I'm so ready. Let's go.
Now, we in the decontamination chamber, I feel like we have to like line up and buck to the back, like in QB position. Just all right, on three. And
Okay, so yeah, so you get into the first door of the decontamination chamber. I will say that there is a camera in there, and you do obviously probably have an idea that someone's probably being able to see what you guys are doing right now. But if you want to do anything with that, you can. If you're totally fine with just being like, no, we're gonna be super fast when we get in there, no big deal, doesn't matter. That's also fine. But you're gonna have
Tech of one. I don't think anyone's watching us. There's no technology that can stop me.
Okay.
Besides, they might be aliens, but they've never dealt with Buck's zone offense.
So yeah, so you're in the decontamination chamber. It is gonna be like one of those things that like you have to be in there for like a certain amount of seconds before it like counts, basically. So you're gonna have that moment where Buck is doing like the ready on three. He's gonna be saying a bunch of numbers and things that I don't understand. But there's also just gonna be like kind of elevator music playing in the background because they know this is just that like kind of stalling moment of like before you enter back into like your regular thing. So just like that kind of in between the two spaces you need to be kind of vibe.
I'm sorry. Does the elevator music have any way for us to plug our own music into? Because I brought my cassette player.
Do you want to roll for me?
I'd love
play
to
some
try
tunes
to.
while you're in there? Sure. Yeah, roll me a tech tinker or program, whichever one you might have more luck with.
Can I Okay, wait. Since my my tech roll is super low, I would love I'd love if I could as like a kind of way to like set this all up and get the team motivated and get us in position to win. I would love to use my pride, wherein my dad is a jet fighter, which means not only am I a good team leader, not only do we plan offensive and beat the enemy with superior planning, we also tend to become astronauts. So,
I'm not wrong.
and have a particular connection to Kenny Loggins. So, just kind of like
Okay.
rip it open and like haphazardly smack his own VCR player seemingly into the right spot and hook it up.
VCR
And
player? You have a VCR player in there?
cassette player. I plug my cassette in. No, I lug the whole VCR and start playing content. No,
Where'd you get that?
I mean, they were like the size of a bookshelf back in the
yeah, exactly. I plug in my cassette player, my Walkman in, and instead of the calm Holly music like fizzles out and Danger Zone starts playing, which
Yes.
is my character's favorite song.
Okay.
So
All right. So perfect. So yeah. So honestly, I'm gonna give you another one for your lead role, like another like bonus in
Yeah,
like
so I got
thrown in there.
3.
You already have 2. Now you have 3 because you're just hyping everybody up, and also you're super hyped because favorite song, like you're ready. So yeah. You sit there, you probably hear the first like few seconds of Danger Zone, but you still know like exactly what song is playing. So you're still getting like extra pumped. And then the door opens. And there's no one on the other side of the door, But like I said, like inside you can still see people kind of moving around this little village area. But all of you are wearing roller skates that go super freaking fast, and you're pumped up by Danger Zone, and I'm just gonna magically have it so that like somehow it's still being broadcast into your helmets even after you get out of the decontamination chamber. Cause like nothing's worse than like getting your favorite song coming in like right as you're parking your car.
Better wait.
Oh, I hate
Better
that.
idea. Tech roll kind of thing to plug it, have it set up right next to my comms, so everyone can hear it. So it's easier for me and my dumb brain to do it rather than.
Perfect. And then it'll carry with you, so all of you are just have a Danger Zone just in your like in your comms as you're roller skating around this area.
Hell yeah.
So there will be clear marks of which direction they were brought to. All of you want to break off in the same direction, or all of you trying to confuse a little bit and go different directions?
I'm gonna run chaos.
Okay. Okay.
Do we want 2 chaos, or do we want, because I could also do chaos, or
Well, your tech is really high though, right?
I have a tech of 1. I have
your
no
tech.
tech.
Okay.
So
yeah,
I'm
you
chaos.
Should probably be chaos then.
chaos.
My tech is not super high, but it's 3. So.
I can try and find their main security place and find where everybody is and see if I can open up some doors and stuff.
Yeah. If you want to roll a mind investigate, that would probably be the best one to be able to find where you think that would be.
Well, if Isabel could describe to Joe what she thinks it might look like, Joe will skate up this inside of the dome wall right up the top and see if I can get a bird's eye view of it.
I'm gonna describe to Joe because she's only been there once, because she kind of got away from her dad a couple of years ago when she was at the loop, of the control center that she saw there, but also tell her like what their like outside patrol security area would kind of look like the smaller one where the security guards would just watch.
Sure. So you've probably like heard your dad kind of mumbling to himself while he's working on things, and like he probably doesn't think that you're even paying attention, but you've probably been able to piece together some stuff that like he just has in his head of, you know, whatever. So you can probably like piece together, like by seeing it in real life, kind of piece together like what you think would be where you should go.
I got 1 success.
Perfect. So yeah, you're gonna head exactly where you want to go. What did you say you wanted to do while you got like you were trying to look for like kind of a control tower sort of thing?
Yeah, I want to look for the control center where there might be video cameras or maps or control of the city, basically. She wants to take control of this alien city.
So it definitely is one of those things where it like that's almost like obvious, like even like not obvious, but like, you know, it's just one of those things that's like that weird like circular kind of tower sort of thing that looks like it has like something rotating on top. So like even if you didn't have that extra knowledge, you probably could have like whatever, but you're sure, like it's not just like, oh, maybe it's there, it's just like, okay, zoned in, I am going towards that. And yeah, with the 1 success, you make your way towards there, and like you're basically maneuvering through buildings. You're kind of weaving and bobbing and trying to make sure that like nobody's going to be able to really like see you for long enough to be like, I need to go follow that. They're going to like see you be like, what was that? Where did they go? And then get like discombobulated. So you kind of flash past and you go towards the like control tower. And then when you get inside, like I said, you did already see a video camera literally in the decontamination chamber. So you probably you'll probably kind of see like one of those like I said, this is almost like an 80s like alien idea, like alien movie. So like you kind of almost see that like whole curved keyboard with like screens going up the
Mhm.
walls and like that one person that's just sitting there and like watching everything and trying to be really alert but still kind of like falling asleep because like come on, like nothing's been happening all day. It's just the people walking around like they always do. And like,
The
whoa,
2
there's a
o'clock
flash of
falls
something,
universe.
but then, you know, like it's gone. It was like, ah, probably just like,
A bug.
you know, yeah, or someone like, yeah, exactly. So you kind of like get in there. Do you want to try to be like sneaky? Do you want to try to like what's the goal? You can see the cameras or like the monitors from where you are.
Like, I want to say Joe, if she's taken off, Joe's following her. So if you want Joe to sneak in.
Yeah, because I'm not sneaky. I could try, but
Okay, so you're both kind of like Isabella's basically pointing, like leading the way, and then once you actually get there, it'll be Joe kind of trying to be sneaky.
Yeah.
Sure.
All right.
So yeah, roll me mind or no, sorry, body sneak.
All right.
Or I guess body move too. Because you're still trying to like basically maneuver in a way that's like skillful.
Okay. That's 2 successes.
All right. So yeah, you open the door to this place and you're trying to be really sneaky because you know someone is probably like still on attention. It's still probably going to be like security guard-esque aliens in the area. So you open the door as quietly as you can and you are able to see a bunch of different screens with this guy kind of standing like watching all of them. And it's almost kind of like the inside of a lighthouse a little bit too, where it has like the staircase kind of going up and there's probably like more stuff on top, but like the room that you're immediately in kind of just has those screens. And you kind of like sneak up behind, like not super close, but you kind of just like sneak up close enough that you can look at all of the monitors and hopefully not draw attention to yourself. And you see one camera that has what you can imagine is Isabel's dad. But have you met Isabel's dad?
I think
within
probably,
the 3 months, probably.
yeah,
Yeah,
at
okay.
least seen him.
Okay.
I
So,
don't know
yeah.
that Isabel's dad would remember meeting Joe specifically.
Well, that's fine because now you're gonna save the day, and then it'll be like, oh my gosh, the coolest person ever. But yeah, so you see, basically a scene where it's Isabel's dad. You recognize Connie, and then there are two other girls, probably like maybe 13, 14, and like a 12-year-old boy. The three of them you don't recognize, you don't know who they are. But like because there's so many screens, they like conveniently labeled like each one at the bottom of like this is this building and this is this building. So you know that they're being held in a lab.
Okay.
And just before anyone asks, I am not going to make any kind of like probing jokes. Okay, I want to make that very clear. this is not going to be one of those games.
It's beneath you.
It's for a game where everyone is below 18. Yes.
Not Isabel's dad.
Not
That's
Isabel's dad.
Great. Okay, then he's the. No, I'm just kidding. Please no.
Oh no, Dad!
So basically what you see is all of them are like they're sitting down on the floor. They don't look like they're like handcuffed or anything like that, but like they almost kind of look like they're on like the other side of like a mirror or a window or something, and
But
they're
they're all
kind
in
of
the
just
same room together.
yes, yeah.
Okay.
Um
Is there a screen that shows like a general map of the city, like where that building would be in relation to where we're at?
oh, there's no map. but looking at it for just a few minutes, you almost kind of like can tell that the way that the screens are set up kind of like helps you, like the upstairs of the same building that you're in, or like what you can imagine is the upstairs because it's a circular room, is like in the center of the screen, and like the camera that was in the decontamination chamber is like kind of the bottom like middle. So you can almost kind of piece together like, okay, if this is the center and the building that they're being held in is like 2 monitors away diagonally, it's probably like you go out the door and you go to the right. And
Okay.
so it like it's not a map specifically, but they made it so that like, again, there's a lot of screens, so this one dude looking at it can kind of conceptualize like, oh, this is where things are happening.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay. Are they wearing their suits still?
No.
Is there a monitor that shows where their suits are?
If you want, you can roll me a mind investigate.
Okay. Not sure how good I am at that. Not super good.
You can do it. I have faith in you.
I got 1 success.
Okay. So I will say that no, you do not see a room where there are a bunch. Are you looking for like her dad's spacesuits and stuff like that?
Yeah, the ones that the kids and the chaperones would have come in.
Sure. Yeah. So you don't see the suits specifically, but you see like in kind of the corner of the room that like they're in, you see like the corner of kind of like a domed glass encasement that looks a lot like the dome of the spacesuit you're wearing. So you think they're kind of just like tucked up against the wall in that same room.
Where they're at, okay.
Yeah, because right now all of them are very comfortably not wearing them. I know obviously all of you are not gonna do the whole thing where you take off all your spacesuits, just whatever, it's easier to keep it on, but right now they can breathe in this atmosphere. So like it's not really like they really got a leg up on them by sealing back their spacesuits, because like the door is probably locked to the room that they're in.
Yeah.
Like you're assuming, they're not just sitting there for fun and playing cards. So you're assuming
Yeah.
they can't leave.
Yahtzee.
Yeah, they're Yahtzee! And then somebody like shushes them from behind the window and they're like, sorry.
Okay, I'll sneak back out to Isabella then and try to quietly, like, I don't know if there's like a short band communication if you're close enough to another suit or not, but I'm trying to quietly communicate. Pretty sure they're in that building, like 2 blocks over.
When I looked into the room, did it look like there were like mass controls, or was this just the security camera room?
Mass controls?
Yeah, like to control doors in other buildings.
Right.
Be able to get into their programming system to open doors.
So yeah, that probably would all be in the same area. But also you like that would mean having to kind of try to do more things other than just being behind the dude looking at the cameras kind of thing. So if you want to do that, then
I was gonna time stop and tie this guy up.
Yeah, absolutely.
I got guitar cable.
Okay. Yeah. So do you want to do a time stop before you enter the room, or do you want to
I would do it before I enter the room.
Sure. Okay. So yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Explain to me how this looks, because you're going to be stopping time, so it's...
Yeah, so I would give like a quick like, this is gonna feel weird, guys. Then I do the time stop, because they would be the only ones still moving, and everything else would stop.
Yep.
Now's the time to
Chris,
wreak
I'm so
havoc, guys.
excited.
Now's the,
Time to wreak
now's a
havoc.
good time to see if you can do a loop-de-loop around the entire dome.
Things start
And
exploding in the background.
Isabel would, with Joe's help, use loose chords, guitar chords, whatever, pull this guy, this alien person away from the controls, and start tying them up. Like tying up their hands and their feet.
Tentacles,
And,
or
like,
whatever they have.
Yeah, and safely away from anywhere so that they can't sound the alarm.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, so time is stopped right now. You can do whatever you think you need to do. Like I said, there is still probably some kind of a limit on the canister. You probably don't really know how long it's gonna be. But for this, what you want to do right now, it's like you have time to do that. Yeah.
I set Kit near the alien and say, Kit, Earl.
But yeah, before she would turn time back on before she started trying to understand what the controls actually are. And then as time comes back, she gets on the comms and goes, "Okay, launch crew, this is your Oracle speaking. We need to go to building 35A."
Perfect. Yeah. 35A lab 4.
While time has stopped, I am locking, like attempting to block doors that I pass by on my skates.
Okay.
just giving us a little bit of buffer.
Yeah.
I'm just like, okay, we're gonna knock something over in front of that door.
You guys are moving through an alien city at super speed while everyone is frozen still.
Yeah.
Eating
Actually,
it
Buck,
up.
is there anything that you want to do in this moment?
I'm just causing chaos. But I
Awesome.
will work towards that building.
Yeah. So yeah, I'd assume that Isabel will kind of give a general, like, it's off and to the right of, like, it's, she can't give an exact thing, but you'll be able to tell, like, which one looks like a lab and which one looks like a little house or something
And
like
I
that.
will
So-
also be watching the cameras as they go past the cameras to let them know if they're going in the right general direction.
Perfect.
Hell yeah.
And then, so, why don't you roll me a tech, tech calculate to see if you can figure out how to,
My
use
best stat.
there we go. See if you can figure out how their system works. Maybe even have the door unlocked for them when they get there.
3 successes.
All right.
Like a child program.
So-
this thing.
It's literally just a big
Give me
button
some
that
alien
says
tech and I can
building
kick ass.
35A lab 4 unlock. No, I'm just kidding. But for you, it's basically as simple as like just pushing like the correct button and you're able to kind of sit there and look. There's a, like, again, think 80s alien movie. They have a bunch of blinking lights. There's a bunch of things that you want to press and you're like, should I do this? Should I do that? But you're able to look past all of the flashing lights and distractors and know exactly which button is the one that will get Buck probably to the area that like as they're maneuvering that way, you'll be able to unlock the door so it's ready and waiting for them.
Yeah, I think what is also happening is as she's like trying to figure out these controls is that she's about to go hit like the brightest purplest button, which is her favorite color, and Chip just kind of lays on it. Like, no, not this one.
Yeah. Not the self.
So you did turn off the you turned off the thing too, right?
Yeah,
So there's just like
I
an
turned
angry
off-
alien dude like
Yep.
just
Mhm.
swearing at you under duct taped mouth.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I already can't understand what he says, so.
I mean, you can probably get the vibe of he's pissed, but I mean, yeah, he's far away from all the buttons he can press to do something about it right now.
Give him a pinch, Kit.
So you you will see Crystal, are you also going towards where Buck is going, like after causing chaos, or is it like
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you both have the direction, you're going in that direction. Isabel, as you see them kind of enter the view of the camera right outside of the lab, you do kind of like hear sounds on the other side coming through, like maybe someone might have been mobilizing or be alerted or something. So you don't know what's like. You can see the room that the like your dad is being held in, but like it doesn't there's not a camera for every single room in every single building. It's the rooms that they think would be important and like the doorways, like entryways to some places. So you just kind of like can hear chatter, but like it's really muffled because it's coming from the other side of the door. So do you want to like warn them, or you're muted, I think.
Yeah,
Unless
I
you're
was
talking really
muted.
quietly. Okay.
I would relay all pertinent information to them that they would
Awesome.
need.
Yeah, so both of you know that like there might be just some aliens waiting for you on the other side, super casually, you know.
Casual.
Just casual. But you do also have 3 pluses. So you can try to flash in and flash out really, really fast and see if you can just maneuver around them and grab people and go.
Do we
The
have
suits
any
are also on the wall.
Well, I mean, if we've got Buck and I, and we're both super super fast with our speedy shoes, could we like stop time again real quick? Like open the door, stop it, chunk the aliens out, start time again with the door shut, let them get dressed, and then we'll have to run on the way out because we can't stop it with all of them. I don't think I can carry them.
You can absolutely do that.
Then that's a problem
You
for
just-
us on the way out.
Just give me the cue.
I look to our captain.
Let's do it.
Okay. So you both get to the other side of the door, and you can hear the sound of kind of like, well, you're assuming is agitated alien noises, but again, you can't really tell. They're speaking in a language that you literally, like, physically probably cannot make the sounds of. So, like, they could just be having, like, a really excited poker game, but probably still not something you want to walk in on.
Yeah.
So you get to the outside of the door. You, I'm assuming, give a cue to Isabel. Okay. And time stops.
Hot Pocket! No, wait, it's Pop Tarts. Pop Tarts is where Pop Tart. That's okay.
Pop-Tart. Cherry Pop-Tart.
Just Pop Tart. Okay, that's the best code word ever. So yeah, Isabel, you hear Pop Tart. You like press the switch on the time stopper. Time stops again. The guy is like mid swearing at you, so he looks like his eyes are really squinty and annoyed, but again, like, can't tell what he's saying, even if he was still speaking. But he's paused right now, so he just looks angry. But yeah, Crystal and Buck, there is no longer any sounds coming from the outside of the that you can hear from outside.
I want to. I probably am not the one to do it. It's probably have to be Buck to get these aliens out the door. I'd
Just
probably try, and I'm just like scooting in my.
Helping
things.
Crystal just yank them.
Roll me a body force, and then if you want to use one of your +1s, or
Well,
you want to find some way you're using your lacrosse stick to help wedge them away or something. I don't know.
I mean, I'll cross-check them.
Okay. Yeah.
Gonna need to. I rolled a whole bunch of ones.
Okay.
Tell you what, I'll just use the one luck I have to reroll.
Sure.
rather than my like raw stick.
Yeah.
Okay, that one was outside of my unlucky dice holder, but it was a 6. So
Okay. Okay. So you open the doors. You really speedily try to get in there and do everything as fast as you can. There are about 3 aliens in there. And again, like I said, there's not like any like probing, whatever, but like it basically kind of looks like they're watching like they're doing like an observational study where they're kind of just like seeing how the humans interact behind what you can very clearly now tell is like a mirror or a window on the side of the glass that you're looking at, and probably you'd assume is probably like a one-way glass sort of
Oh
thing.
my god, it's that Twilight Zone episode. The
Mm,
human zoo.
yeah.
It's a cookbook.
So yeah, so you basically get the vibe that they were like all sitting in there kind of watching the humans, trying to figure out like what are these things, what do they do, like maybe trying to see if they can understand their language at all. And they are all like partially mobilized walking towards the door. And they all have like kind of just like these silly looking like shrink ray kind of guns in their hands. But again, shrink ray looking, not like kill looking.
Can we
If that
can we
helps.
see the ray guns on the monitors?
So when they open the door, you will be able to, because basically, like I said, there's a camera like right above the entryway, and then like the room that has like the pertinent people in it that they're kind of like holding for observation. But like the room that they're in doesn't really have it. So when they open the door, yeah, it'll like become.
I'm
That-
grabbing
that-
both of those
Yeah,
shrink ray
I was gonna
guns
say,
and probably shooting one of them just so I can.
You hear over the comms. Oh, Buck, you gotta take those guns. We need those guns.
Okay.
Even if
yeah.
we're just shooting
we
stuff
need
in the
proof.
graveyard.
Crystal, do you actually try to use the gun?
I mean, probably when the time starts again,
Okay. Okay.
because I feel like it would maybe not work in time frozen zone. I don't know how this tech works. That's her thought
mean,
process.
Okay. Yeah. I was just thinking because if you like want to test it out, if it is a shrink ray, then like it'll be a lot easier to move them if they're tiny.
Buck's got
They
it.
can ride Nicodemus.
I shrink myself.
Okay, so Crystal is now holding 2 guns that you don't know for sure. You don't know what they do for sure. So she's holding 2 of them. Buck probably like has the moment where he's like, "Whoa!" Like I'm imagining like little sister has a kitchen knife or something like that. Like, oh my god, oh no. But so you successfully bring the 3 aliens out and kind of away from the area you're in. They are not really that heavy because like I said, it's 80s aliens. They're like kind of shorter than everybody. They kind of like their head almost looks like the biggest part of them. So like they're probably about the same size as Crystal would be. So yeah, you kind of just lug all 3 of them, and do you like put them anywhere specific or just getting them away?
Just away, like as far away in an inconvenient position as possible.
Yeah, so like in an alley, kind of like further down and away, and I don't know, maybe there's a dumpster in there you can kind of just like
Space dumpster.
yeah.
I mean, even aliens need a dumpster.
Yeah.
Yeah, they need a place to throw their
Simulation
car- I mean, unless
humans.
they just have an incinerator or something like that. But I'm not going too far into the lore of their trash services right now. That's one thing I did not think about. But yeah, you put them in a place that's going to be convenient for them. They're going to be discombobulated once all of a sudden they're like brought back to like, I was supposed to be trying to go out the door of the building that I was in, and now I'm like tucked in a corner somewhere. And so you get back into the building after you've moved them. Are you guys trying to like put these people back in their suits while everything's frozen, or like are you gonna
My thought
like-
was start time again so they can get dressed real quick, but the aliens are outside the door that'll now shut again. So we're
Okay.
in there.
Yeah. Okay,
And
so
then I'll
yeah,
come
you
out guns
close.
ablazing and I'll shrink them all.
Okay. Yeah, so you close the doors behind you. You go ahead and do you say Pop Tarts again? Is that the code word to
I think she forgets for a bit. It's like, oh, Pop Tart.
Ding.
time starts back up again and
My face is up against the glass staring at Connie.
well, no, so I kind of established that it was a one-way mirror type situation.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I don't know that, though.
I'm
I'm in with the Tekka one. This is a window.
Mhm.
So Connie is sadly oblivious to you being goofy and trying to like make sure the first thing she sees after she's frozen in time for a few seconds like is you. But Buck will, I'm assuming, open, or the door's probably already open to that area. Because Isabel was like pressing buttons to make sure things were unlocked. So you hear like just a confused voice all of a sudden just, whoa. Wait, the door's open. Oh my god, it's been so long since the door's been open.
I'm just like, why don't they see me?
do you
Then
wanna
walk
just
around
stay
to the
okay.
door. Look through.
The second Connie sees you, she like has that moment of like, it takes her a second, like, wait, how are you? And then she just like runs up and like hugs you. Because she's just like so excited to see a familiar face.
Hello, we are here to save you from the aliens that are definitely real. Looking back at Buck again. You gotta get your spacesuits on though, because we gotta get out of here fast and I'm gonna shrink them all. Hi, Isabella's
yeah.
dad.
So yeah, so they like kind of like, you just gave them a lot of information like really really fast, so they're just like, yeah, and like the Isabella's dad is kind of like gesturing everybody like, okay kids, like come on, like we put on our spacesuits before, you know how to do this, one foot after the other, and just kind of is like not really helping them, but like kind of like that dad pep talk of like, you got it kid. And they're all kind of like,
I love my dad.
they're all like putting their spacesuits on. By the time all of them have gotten completely like suited back up again, you will probably like on the cameras, you will probably see the aliens start to kind of like go back into like the place, not really knowing what happened, of being like, okay, I guess we're just gonna go back to work now. Like, I don't know. Because they have no clue what just happened. But yeah, so everyone's in their spacesuits. They're ready to go. They're looking at you guys eagerly like, what's the plan?
We run.
Pew pew.
Isabella's dad will probably sit there for a second like, maybe it's a better idea for me to have one of those.
Nope. And I just go.
What's the exit? Keep growing. Sorry, now keep growing. Keep shrinking.
Okay. All right.
I don't know how
So-
many charges this baby's got, but we're gonna have a bunch of little tiny aliens when we're all said and done with this.
So with 4 additional people in tow, you start moving towards the door that you came in through. And like I said, the aliens have kind of started walking towards like the building again, but now they're kind of discombobulated, so they're not really like trying to be like, we need to figure out who did this. They're like, I thought I was at work already. I don't know why I just woke up in a ditch. What? So you start going towards the door. Aliens are kind of trying to like slowly saunter back into work. Pew pew.
Buck, do you want a gun? I feel like I shouldn't have both of them. Do you want? Are you gonna just keep bodying people?
I'm just gonna keep bodying people.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna dual wield some shrink rays and just I'll shoot at the one he's not bodying.
I was gonna say, don't like shrink it as he's trying to like, and then he'll lose his balance and just like.
I am also like still have my skate, so I am probably like going to try and keep some distance in front of us to like clear the way.
Okay. And Isabel and Joe, I'm assuming you're probably like realizing now that you're gonna meet up with the crew and all kind of
Yeah.
go out together. You saw the whole reunion and them starting to put on their stuff, so you probably start moving around the same time.
Yeah, Isabel's gonna kind of give them as much direction based on the cameras as to like the best route to go that's clear at the moment, and is going to pretty much lock any other door that they're not gonna need to keep some of the other aliens from.
Yeah, I mean, like you still have the skates on, so you're moving a lot faster. So even like something like trying to close the door, you're still gonna be ahead of the game. So maybe what you two can do is make sure that the path is clear ahead of them, because they probably have to move at a slower pace because they have 4 people without roller skates in tow. So if you want to like make sure that the decontamination chamber is already getting warmed up and ready, and like pushing people out of the way kind of thing.
Yeah, she's gonna be doing that kind of stuff.
All right. So I'm not gonna have you guys roll for this because it's already kind of over a little bit of time anyway. But there's a point that I want to make sure that I get to before we end for the night. So I am going to say that guns blazing and you know, all the years of body checking and sports come in really handy, and having someone already prepping the path leading up to all of you making your grand escape, you're able to get away from these aliens. A lot of them are, again, discombobulated because they need to try to unlock doors that that Crystal kind of started blocking, or that Isabel also started doing at the end. So a lot of them are already hindered or not really even realizing what's happening until it's already too late. And all of you safely, but a little bit slowly, now that you have the roller skates, you're almost kind of like maybe doing laps around the people, because I don't know how much you can really slow down the roller skates once they're greased unless you want to take them off. So you're probably just moving hyper fast, making sure the path's clear for them, and you make your way away from this alien civilization. You start heading back towards the mop that was very conveniently placed, that is basically right in front of where, yes, the door will materialize again. It's like kind of one of those, you know, like, you know how sometimes you have those automatic doors that like when you try to stand next to it, like right after it closed, it's just like angry for a little while and it doesn't want to open back up. It was kind of like that. It just needed some time to like close and then be like, oh, okay, yes, I will open again. So it looked a little scary, but it's still there. You all either burst through the door, or you know, you go at it at a kind of a slower pace. I don't really know how roller skates that are sped up would work on the moon. I feel like that would mean it would be slower, but still, like, everyone makes it safely to the door. You have that same feeling as before of when you kind of like almost feel like you're being suctioned out of the door, and it's that blinding light that just of, you know, it almost like it's just some kind of weird like force field thing. I don't know how else to explain it right now.
Teleportation is what it is, and you're never gonna change Crystal's mind.
So you all make it to the other side of the door after that weird kind of like suction feeling, and your eyes all take a second to adjust because again, you just went through this really bright portal that had this blinding light. And when you finally do adjust and you start to look around, things look different than how you left them. The wall kind of opposite of where you guys are almost kind of looks like it was like torn down a little bit. A lot of the machinery looks like it's collected dust and rust and probably would not be able to function safely anymore. What you can see of the sky outside of this destroyed wall just looks dark, almost apocalyptic. And you hear Isabel's dad like proclaiming like, "Oh my God, I've done it! I've done it, guys! We weren't just in a simulation. I don't know if all of you realize that, but that was not just a simulation.
Obviously, yeah.
We
Mhm.
we made contact with aliens. We were on the moon. Oh my God." And he's just sitting there and he's so proud and like exasperated with himself. And again,
Mr.
you turn around to look at her dad and you're raising your hand. But the thing is that the last time you saw him, you remembered looking up a lot further to be able to make contact with, like, be able to make eye contact with him. All of a sudden, it seems like you don't have to look up as far to meet his gaze. And when you do look at him, he looks a little bit older. Like a little bit grayer, not old, but you know, not exactly as he did a few seconds ago when you walked through that door. And you kind of have this moment of shock because you just saw this person a few seconds ago. Why did they look different? You look around and look at the rest of the group all around you, and all of you look a little bit different. All of you don't look like middle schoolers anymore. You probably look like you're high school, maybe even already graduated.
You mean
And
to
that
tell
is
us
where we're gonna end.
we're six?
We went to the
six-
moon, we time traveled, and we probably started a war with aliens, is what I'm
Yes.
gathering.
That's what I'm gathering, yes.
Look, Mars might need moms, but they took the L. Damn, their defense is trash.
Yeah.
Listen, I wanted to make sure I could have totally had a cliffhanger with like you guys still on the moon and being able to maneuver all that sort of stuff. I knew where I wanted to go with that. Okay.
I had said something about maybe they think they've only been there for like a couple of hours.
Yeah, and then I think Joe literally said what, or no, was it Joe or Crystal or both of you I think said like what if this is like what if we're actually on the moon, or like what if this
Yeah.
was a
Yeah,
teleportation
that was
and
Joe.
not just yeah, I was trying so hard to not to be like, stop it guys, no. you can't do that.
I'm glad
And
that
then
it
we
wasn't
came
like a
back and you
moment where
said
it's
that-
gonna be.
You said it was aged, and I was like, I knew there was like some weird timey-wimey shit was going on.
And also, I'm really glad that it was Crystal that tried to turn around first, because like she was 10, so like the fact that she's grown like 6 years all of a sudden is like, why am I only like, why can I meet your gaze like here instead of here?
She's
So
no older than Joe was yesterday.
yeah.
Damn.
But okay, that is our cliffhanger. There are going to be some interesting things happening before next session that I'm going to make sure that I tell my players before I let everyone else, announce it off to the world. But before we do that, everyone go around. We went a little over, so just like maybe try to keep it brief, but just share, like something you're really looking forward to with your stream week this week or something like that. Just I want all of them to be able to know where they can find you next, because all of you are amazing. And yeah, we'll start in backwards order. So now we're going to start first with the mystery behind the wig. Jason.
The wallow hair. I'm Jason, also known as Graphical Ronin. I'm JJSYNN, JJ Sin on Twitter. I'm an illustrator and a graphic designer. I've got a busy stream week this week because on Wednesday I'll be right back here on Lost Caravan, going through Call of Cthulhu for the first time under the gentle hands of Turk. We're all gonna die. Thursday night I'll be on Weave the Tale, playing Vampire the Masquerade. And on Friday, I'll be playing in my weekly 5e stream on Ruinous Paths D&D, where I play a vanilla fighter named Van Isla.
That's cute.
That's just me.
You're a treasure. All right, that's me then. Hey everybody. I have been and will continue to be, whether you like it or not, Turk or Turk accented. Somewhere after midnight. I had the honor and privilege of playing Buck, your jock buddy with plans. And if you want to see more of me, you can of course find me tomorrow on Neon Lights playing Gelglim, which is a Yiddish fantasy with the Rogue 2e system. We are fighting the army of the dead. I have told the group we should find the shards of Narsil, but they're not going for it. Something about that's not actually history, so we'll try. But it's been really fun with that. If you like Eastern European folklore and history, that's great. Of course, Wednesday, I will be the keeper for Call of Cthulhu, which is an incredibly fun system. I'll be running a lot of people's first sessions through, so if you're not familiar with the story at all or Lovecraftian mythos, it will be a great introduction as I explain everything in my lovely Necronomicon of creatures and madness and woe. But beyond that, Thursday I will be back on Neon Lights with some Death in Space with the Last Transmission series, with so much more to come. But of course, I always have to give a shout out. May 1st is Oathsworn, which is my Greek fantasy meets my Greek mythology meets high fantasy campaign that I run over on Neon Lights Roleplay. If you give me a follow on social medias, I'm always sure to give that one a big old blast. And I do plan on doing some more interactable stuff, telling a bit of a story about the before times, before in the season 1 stuff, just to get people involved because you can't really see season 1 anymore, which is unfortunate. But I'll give you all some hints and stuff so you can get involved in the lore because it's been really fun to get back into that. That's way too much out of me. Thank you all so much for showing up. Keep being the best person you can be. Thank you so much for Lonnie for running this. Second time GMing ever. Very impressive. And thank you all for support the awesome people you're seeing on your screen here because they're super special awesome. And I think they're cool. And if you don't like them, you can't come to my birthday party. My mom said so. And we're going to the trampoline park.
Mm-hmm. Y'all are gonna miss out.
I want to go to Sky
Okay.
Zone.
It's a really cool place. Okay, for the interest of time, sorry. Dido, go ahead. You're muted.
I am Dido. You can find me on Twitter at Dido11. I will be back here on Lost Caravan doing some vibe check tomorrow. And then on Wednesday, I'm playing some Curse of Strahd over on Random Rhapsody. I also would like to give the friendly reminder that our casting calls are still open until Thursday, and I will be working very hard on them this weekend, as I am not.
Yeah. Is that me? I'm it, right? That's it.
Yeah.
Hi, Taylor, or @_potato_ on the internet. Yeah, you can find me over on Twitter doing that, what I'm doing things stuff. Tomorrow, 2000 Tales, playing some Vampire the Masquerade. It's episode 1 of a little mini series. Very excited for that. I've never played more than 2 sessions of that game ever, so watch the train wreck of me trying to learn a new system. Wednesday over on High Shelf Collective is the continuation of Ascension in Paradise, which is a really wild, weird cyberpunk game that I'm running that's basically Baywatch meets cyberpunk in the middle of the ocean. So come hang out. It's a fun, flirty time. And then Friday, also cyberpunk over on 2000 Tales that I'm running. And that one is cyberpunk but in the Appalachian Mountains. I don't do cyberpunk normally anymore, apparently, because that's the only game anyone ever asked me to run. So I do it different now. That's my life. And then we rinse, wash, repeat every week for the next 3 months. So
Okay, and then that is me. I do not have as many things as all of the amazing people in front of me, but I am still in some cool things that I'm very excited about. Like I will be in Call of Cthulhu on Wednesday with Jason and Turk, which I'm very excited about. I've been hearing Turk rave about Call of Cthulhu for like a year and a half now, and I'm finally playing it for the first time. So long awaited, like, gonna be that like high expectation. So live up to
Take
it.
notes. It's a
Okay.
great pickup line.
Yeah.
You want to play my cock game?
You
Let's
have
see,
no
Call of
idea
Cthulhu.
filling out these casting calls how much it is that I just get to put that in every like row.
But on Friday I will be on High Shelf Collective, which is weird because Taylor will be away from High Shelf Collective during the time when I'm on High Shelf Collective because, you know, just are you muted?
I didn't mean to mute it. I said me and Bobby did a channel swap. So while I'm running 2000 Tales, he's running my show.
Yep. 2000 Tales owner Bobby runs After These Messages, which is basically a sitcom where I am a heartbroken mortal that got dumped by Zeus, and now I work in a bar that we called the Thick Thorax. And
Juicy.
that's a thing. I got proposed to and then called off my engagement last session. So it's just a bunch of chaos. It's really great. I think it might be our last episode. So yeah. And that's about all. I just want to make sure I thank again, I am going to say it to death, but literally every single one of these people, amazing, a pleasure to work with. Like if you get to see one of them in your game, like be honored, bow at their feet. They're all great. And also just thank you for everyone for being here and watching me fumble around trying to figure out how to DM. I'm lucky to have, you know, just lucky to have this community. And if you don't already play with Lost Caravan, come join us. It's really, really fun. You meet a lot of great people. And I think that's going to be all I say before I just babble on and on forever. So I hope if you want to take us out. Thank you everyone for stopping by and for all the raids. And we will be raiding Magi RPG.
Magi RPG.
Okay, Magi, I'm sorry. But anyway, we will be joining them. So thanks again for everything.